I'm a senior. So the first order of business. I turn my. It's why you right. Will be to elect a chairman for the oncoming season. So, do I have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Sam White.
Is there a second?
I'll nominate Len Bernard.
So we have two individuals. I'll second Lynn Bernard.
I'm sorry, but
You're good.
well,
Those in favor of Lynn?
I
Aye.
Aye.
Those in favor of Sam? So Lynn Bernard, current chairman. So I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Bernard now for the next order of business, which is to elect vice chair.
Okay, we'll go through the nomination process for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Dave Stevens.
Dave Stevens. A motion second. Is there anyone else? All in favor of Dave?
Aye.
Aye.
they promised us have to do one meeting like last time.
No, you needed more practice. Any opposed to Dave? Great. First item is approval of the agenda. Had a chance to review and approve it.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Have a motion by Commissioner Bradley.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor,
What can we have a discussion?
please.
So personally, maybe I'm the only one, but I'd like to arrange it so we don't have an hour and a half lunch. These meetings, if possible. I don't know if anybody else wants to have any ideas on it, but I just rather.
So Commissioner Stevens would proposing a shorter lunchtime, and because of how it's written today, it doesn't have any impact on any constituents or the general public. So we can just continue with going with the after lunch schedule and break at that point in time.
I'm
Is that
not
it?
trying, I just saying get the business over with.
No, is that acceptable?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm with you. We make the meeting shorter, let's do it.
Okay, we're going to move everything up from the afternoon following the board discussion of AI and procurement policies. Okay, we've motion second discussion, all in favor? Any opposed? Has everyone had a chance to review the prior meeting minutes?
Yeah.
Motion to approve, second,
Second.
motion second, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor of? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next up is accounts payable. There's no changes from what has been, no additionals from what has been put in our package. We have accounts payable in the amount of $1,379,602.38. Any motion on that?
Accounts payable.
Motion by Commissioner Bradley to accept. Second. Second by Commissioner Stevens. Any discussion, modifications? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have payroll in the amount of $1,251,442.60. along with payroll liabilities in the amount of $655,975.28. Motion on those.
I make a motion for payroll and liabilities presented.
Have a motion from Commissioner Bradley. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion, modifications? All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Any opposed? Up next is the holiday schedule that was put in your package. Have you had a chance to review and any modifications on that?
I make a motion to approve the holidays and presented. 2026.
Thank you. I have a motion for acceptance of the proposed holiday schedule. Is there a second? I have a motion by Commissioner Bradley, second by Commissioner Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Next portion is the meeting schedule for the upcoming year.
I make a motion to approve the meeting schedule.
Motion,
26.
motion by Commissioner Bradley for acceptance of the 2026 meeting schedule. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Vickery with the second. All in favor?
I'll get a discussion.
Aye.
Please, I'm sorry. I missed that.
So normally we have like, don't we have like at least two a year over in the.
Yes,
You got 3, 4.
we have March 17th, August 18th.
Okay. I was looking at the left column.
Yep. You're welcome.
Apologize, I'm sorry.
No. Have a motion second, question asked, answered in discussion. All in favor of the 2026 meeting schedule? Aye. Any opposed? General notice to access county information. Please.
That is just the letter that I included in your packet regarding that statute, and basically it's just that we post our agenda and minutes on the website in accordance with that.
No action needed on this? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and then also in the package is the office investment disclosure and conflict of interest form. If you haven't done so, please fill yours out and turn it in to the county clerk. Up next, Billy Pape.
Morning,
Good morning.
I got my activity list. We're found snow, and then when we get out there before it melts. Doing some snow catchers, some areas, Bondurant. That area is big, getting fair amounts of snow. And we're still, it's kind of crazy year. We have a lot of, some areas down by Boulder. Even out of Dana, we had water run across some awesome pipes, crazy. But yeah, over back. Working in our pits a lot because the ground ain't real froze, so we're able to still crushing, stockpiling. You know, we did get down there on Calpet and fix that. We're out the concrete, overdug it, compacted it. I think there's kind of a spring in there. Well, me and Eric had kind of been addressing that, what will be next spring. But it's way smoother. I've been going down about once a week or checking it. We'll just keep making, as it settles, we'll keep adding to it, but it's way, way smoother.
Yeah, on that front, we'll probably have to put in a perforated pipe to kind of drain that water out, because there has to be a spring there in the middle of nowhere, but it's the only thing we can think of.
Yeah, when we dug it out, I mean, it filled, you know, it was filled full of water as we dug it. So, you know, we did get it, we did dig down deep enough and over excavated it, so it kind of dried up and packed in pretty good as we, and I filled it with rotomill, and that stuff really likes water, so it handles the water way better, but it's way smoother. So,
Good job.
any questions on bridge?
No, sir.
I don't have much, just, we gotta do the landfill compliance and emissions report, so I've been working on that. You just run numbers on propane emissions, diesel, dust, and then the actual emissions from the landfill itself. And on top of that, we have to, every 5 years, we have to drill into the landfill and they sample the gas. We gotta fill out these forms for the government. And we're on our 5-year term, so that'll be coming up
How
this year.
deep do you drill?
They just drill certain, it just depends. They vary them. But they just try and go down, hit different layers of waste, and then they measure the concentration of oxygen, and then you just plug in the numbers. It's one of these things the EPA requires. The threshold's 34 milligram or megagrams, and we're at 3.4, but because the landfill's permitted so big, they just fall under that umbrella. But other than that, that's pretty much all we have going on right now. We'll start working on the plans for the next year's cattle guard project and a couple other things. We'll start doing that here this month so we can get it out in the spring or before spring, just to get some bids. Other than that, we're just getting started on the year.
Those aren't something that can be done in-house. They look pretty simple.
I mean, it's kind of the time frame, you know what I mean? That's it. I think eventually way they're, you know, it's kind of been trial and error. I mean, we've done a couple of them. And now that they're kind of coming up with these prefab stuff, I think eventually we could, you know, it was just kind of tough when they were pouring them in place and stuff. The time frame for, you know, in it, if in case I got pulled on something else, you know, you have the road. But the way it seems like we learn some every time.
Yeah, because before, when we first did them, they were always cast in place, and then when DeBernardi did it, we always gave them a choice: they could cast in place or precast it. And DeBernardi went with the precast route, and that's how everybody else has been going since then. They're heavy slabs, so you'd have to rent a crane and do all that kind of fun stuff. So you got a little bit of staging if you're gonna be doing it in-house. But it's certainly something we can consider forward.
Oh, I think it's worth looking at. That's a big expenditure.
Yeah.
If you're getting a lot of your summer crushing done now, maybe you'd have hands available to.
Yeah, it's just like you said, you know, we just have to rent a, you know, have a crane.
Yeah, just be some,
Stuff, yeah. Just
come up with a game plan kind of deal.
we can look at that.
Good thought. Okay.
Awesome. So waste management, we had a the fire, we had 2 fire sprinklers go off and, flooded the Bell house. I really don't know why it did it. There wasn't no fire. But it's probably gonna be about $150,000 mistake, you know? So dealing with insurance, Jessica, Zach, and then Bob, the travelers. Today we're doing a walkthrough at 1, but we got all the estimates and fire engineering. I'm trying to get them. They'll be here tomorrow. To get it, fix the problems that they think caused it and get it all the system back up so we can, because we can't right now, we can't use the Bell house and you know, the other part, like their office and their bathrooms now, you know, it ruined all that, you know. Roof caved in and all that, but hopefully today they'll give us the okay to start getting that back order, but so far everything's, I mean, I'll keep you guys, you know, what happens, but insurance so far is doing, you know, what they were supposed to, I guess. Kind of been kind of slow getting it going, but I think today's kind of a good day because the adjuster, I don't think he'll be there, but we're doing basically FaceTime, but Zach will be there. So hopefully today we get okay to start doing construction. So we start tearing the drywall and all that stuff. So we get it electrical and all that fixed. So we get back in baling. That's the main thing. So we can get the baler going.
So, Mr. Chairman, so Billy, I guess the positive part of this is the sprinklers work. Huh?
The spring, it's just weird. We've been having in Blakewood maintenance, fire engineering, you know, they come and did their inspection and, you know, the end of August and everything was great, but we've been having these false alarms. So when if we have a company that monitors them, and so they call me and they call Blake. And it was a control box. We had one on order. That's where they said that ain't the reason why it's happened. We really don't. Only 2 of them went off. But of course, I think it was the ones like right over the bathrooms and their meeting, their break, you know, their break room and all that stuff. I mean, but it, you know, it happened on a Saturday evening and they, you know, they didn't even know it went off. So why it went off, we don't know, but it, you know, it drained, you know, that thing's, you know, about, you know, it put 10,000 gallons out into that building. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, but they'll be here, fire engineering will be here tomorrow and the thing is, you know, you gotta run glycol through that stuff with all these new glycol. You just can't, you know, you gotta go follow all this new glycol stuff, you know, that stuff. Just the glycol is 38,000 put back in that building. So that's and then fix everything that, you know, it kind of blows that whole fire thing. You know, when that happens, it does some damage to it too. So getting all that put back together and then just fix the parts of the walls and that need, you know, that so much water damage and then fluid, you know, because it's like a little building in a building, you know. But hopefully today we'll get everything where fire stuff should be done tomorrow, and then at least we'll be able to bail again. So that's the main thing.
Thanks. Jessica, would you be able to come up with what claims history we would have for this current year with Tegler? We have this one, but do we have additionals? And if, yeah, just for knowledge. For the insurance year, yes. I don't know that it's July 1.
Oh, I think it's April.
Yeah, correct. So I, no, I don't need it right now, just something to toss out later.
So since I started in July, this is the first claim.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
This is the first time we've had anything like this happen with a sprinkler down there. I don't, and like I said, you know, we're doing everything so it make sure it doesn't happen again. We don't know why it did it. There's, you know, we thought, you know, we looked at we had no fire in the trash or anything like that or anything. It just, for some reason, them sprinklers just went off.
Great, thank you.
Other than that, that's what's happening over there. Golf course, we're, you know, kind of bummed because we haven't been able to broom. So again, we don't have skiers yet, but pro shop's open. We are selling merchandise. Doing what we can out there. Getting ready for, you know, we got Simplot. We designed a fertilization plan for us and that, like all this new equipment we got, it's all GPS and everything, so you plug it in there and it fertilizes, you know, never over fertilizes, you know, and it won't fertilize, like if you go over one spot, if you come back, you know, it knows it's been there and stuff, so it's really cool. But got that plan going, so we'll start doing that as soon as spring hits, you know, because you got to get all your snow mold and all that stuff and rodent spray and all that stuff. So we're working on that. Other than that, just trying to get everything ready for April.
Any questions for Billy?
Well, I just guess one for my information. What winter merchandise do you sell there?
We sell, like we got, like, we got golf, you know, coats, you know, kind of wear coats. We brought in some like, because some of these companies that sell golf stuff sell just kind of wear coats like this. We got snowshoes, because, you know, we're gonna rent snowshoes, because a lot of people snowshoe out there, and we can rent like junior skis. There's a lot of, you know, people go out there with their kids, and so we were renting little skis, and you can buy skis, stuff like that. Just a bunch of winter type golf stuff, and we had some like Nike stuff, Nike coats, anything, any of these companies that we buy total golf stuff from, they have winter apparel too, so we're carrying some of that. Sold a lot over Christmas. So
So is there a regular cross-country track? Have you got one of those designed, or you just go where you want? I know some folks ski around out there.
there hasn't been enough snow yet to do it, but normally, we have like a over by where the driving range is, we put like a little kids track in there, they groom a track there. And then they go all the way around the whole thing, and it, like last year, it was busy. It was really busy. A lot of people, you know, it's quick, they can go and ski, you know, and stuff like that, but we just haven't had enough snow to groom it yet.
That's all. Yeah.
Okay, questions? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Nice gesture.
Andre, good morning.
Morning. Just a few things here. At Daniel Fire, the water issue, we're still working on it. We're waiting. We got most of the stuff to do that filtration system, but we're still waiting on some of the parts to do it. And then we do have contact with the guy that can shock that well prior to doing all that, which we're gonna do. But we're not quite there yet. It's just taking some time to get the stuff. Pinedale water heater's done. You know, they had that old water heater that was putting rust into the building and stuff. We got that replaced and put tankless in there. They're really happy with it. They said it works great. That's completed. Kindle Fire generator, we've been having some issues up there. We've had this happen before, but we didn't know why it did it, but I think we figured it out. But so if they have a power outage, generator kicks on, takes care of the building, but when the power comes back on, the transfer switch was not, it would just leave the generator running and ran for like 15 hours. Because the switch wouldn't kick it back over. So we have determined that we think, because the boilers, the vent for the boilers is right there by it, and the wind blows that way. So we think the moisture is getting in there and freezing it. We have a solution. Steve found there's a heater it's made for that, for those transfer switches inside the box that you put in. It's like $300 to $500. Put it in there and then it'll keep it warm and it does. We think that's, so we're in the process of getting that done. We've had more broom issues. We've been working on them a lot. So just so you guys are aware, we have 2 brooms that we put on the skid steer. We kind of have a backup. And one of them's like 15 years old and the other one's like 12 years old. So they're there's a lot of cracking and stuff. We've been patching it up, welding onto it and fixing it, but we just been issues. And so just be aware, I'll probably be requesting a new broom in the next budget because I think it's time. I don't think we've ever had this many issues, like just constant. So they're just probably at their life and they get used a lot. Billy already talked about the dump down there, with this fire sprinkler stuff. Lake's been working on that, taking care, making sure that, because everything after that happens, everything has to be inspected. They're gonna have to inspect the pump because the pump ran that thing dry, and it's all very expensive, but my understanding is it's gonna be an insurance claim. And we just cannot figure out why that went off. I've only seen that happen one other time since I've been here, and that was at Aspen Grove. The sprinkler in one of the hallways just decided it was gonna let out everything. That was about, and I've been here 10 years, so probably a couple of years in when I was here, that happened. And then the last thing, I didn't have it on here, but so I don't know if you guys are aware, but at the library, there used to be a bathroom. It was like a family bathroom in there. It was, and before I ever even worked here, they tore all that out. They made it a maintenance closet for the cleaners. They're mopping, but all that stuff in there. Well, they requested quite a long time ago to have that bathroom put back together. So I needed to move the cleaning stuff to another spot. We found a spot, except it didn't have doors. It's kind of cubby, a large cubby. So I've had doors installed on there. Those are complete, but I didn't like the way it turned out. So the contractor came and pulled the doors and he's gonna repaint them. It was just the painting that I wasn't happy with. It looked really bad. And he agreed. He hadn't seen the finished product because he had some guys that were working on it. So I called him and I said, hey, you're probably gonna be pretty upset with your guys. So he came and looked at it. He said, absolutely. So
Good.
they're gonna redo them. It's really, yeah.
Job. Any questions for Andre?
Well, I guess it must be my day, first meeting of the year. So here it said the sprinkler head broke. I just thought it had come on, kicked on, but
It did. Well, I mean, I just put broke on there, but
Okay.
it just,
something,
you
but
know, it's got that glass piece in there.
yeah,
Yeah, it just let the water out. It didn't break off or anything. That piece opened up.
okay, good enough. That took care of that. Nothing else.
Any other questions for Andre?
So in the bathroom redo, is it, you're just gonna have to buy new toilet sinks and all that stuff,
Yeah,
but the plumbing is all there?
yeah, it's all there because it used to be a bathroom. We're just putting it back together. We might even have some of the pieces in there. I'm not sure yet. That far.
So is it for the public or the
It's,
people work there?
it's a public, they're gonna make it a family bathroom. I think that's what it was before, but that was before my time, actually. It's always been a maintenance closet since I've been here. Is that it? Oh, awesome.
Excellent. Thank you, Andre.
So he might want to hang around because that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm staying.
Good.
Oh, good.
Thank you for that. Up next, Richard Smith, Chairman, Rendezvous Point Board. Please have a seat.
How's everybody doing? I have a. I don't know if that's just proper or not, but.
Yeah.
The cheat sheet that things we'll be discussing here.
Hold on.
Thank you.
So first of all, like to thank the commissioners for supporting Rendezvous Point for all these years and doing a good job of it. But we have some issues that, safety, maintenance and upgrades at Rendezvous Point that I feel that since I've become chairman of the board, people have been coming to me and sharing the different things that they see that possibly could be safety issues, maintenance issues, or upgrades. So I've tried to prioritize them. And the first one is automatic doors on east and west side of the building, which I understand it has already been in the process of getting bids or looking at, according to what I've been told by the director over there, that people came in and were looking at those issues. So that's good. The repair of the concrete on the west side of the building, over on the west side of the building, the concrete's all cracked and chipped, and we have a lot of people, our seniors coming from Aspen Grove, coming over there with their walkers and wheelchairs, and it just makes it very difficult for them to walk through there with the walkers and the wheelchairs and the canes. So it's an issue that we felt. They came to me and wanted to know if we could do something about that to get that, excuse me, get that remedied. And I said, well, I'll bring it to the board. So we've got that, the rain gutters on the east side of the building and on the west side of the building. The gutters on the west side of the building, they're approximately, I'm gonna say about 10 foot long. And they've got a cap on one end, and then they've got the heat strip running through them. But they're tipped going towards the cap. And so I don't know if that's causing them to leak right above the door where you walk in, and then overnight it freezes. And then when people walk out there, you've got an ice slick that they've got to walk on. So that's on the west side of the building. On the east side of the building, we have a 10-foot gutter that's right above the door, but there's a handicap ramp that walks for about 25 feet down beside it. There's no gutters there, and all the rain or the snow that melts drips right down on the handicap ramp. And it creates just an ice slick when the employees show up in the morning. So we've got either add more gutters, or I don't know how, we'd have to talk. Well, Andre might be the one that can come out and address that issue. So we've got that issue. The dumpster enclosure, just outside of the west side of the building, it has a stone facade or whatever, rocks going up it. Those are starting to fall off. The caps up on top of the corners of that dumpster enclosure are loose, and I put one back up there the other day. They're just, I don't know what caused them, but they're starting to fall off. Creates an issue. And on the corner of the building right there, across from the dumpster enclosure, where they have the rock wall up about 3 feet or so, and then they go to the regular siding, those are starting to come off also. So people brought that to me, so we're bringing that up. According to the director and assistant director in Rendezvous Point, they have window blinds that the slats are moving, or excuse me, the slats are broken, or they're not there, they're missing. So it just, gives it like they just don't like the look of broken slats on the window and stuff, and the blinds. The restroom floors, several of the women have complained to either Tina or Charlie about the restroom floors. They're stained and it just gives it a dirty look. So I know that the cleaning crew is there daily, mopping and cleaning everything, but the stains are still there on the floor. And so they were wanting to know if there was something that could be done about that, because the ladies go in there and the floor just looks dirty, you know, when they're using the restroom. So, and that, we went into the men's restroom also, and by the commodes, it's the same thing. It's all of the dirtiness is just right when you on the commodes. The floor is just dirty. I mean, you're welcome to come out and look at them. It's just dirty. They have spots down there and everything, so they were wanting to see if we could do something about that. The carpets, they say after they have on the high use areas where people are trafficking all the time, they're worn, and they was wondering if something obviously could be done with that. These are issues that the women in Rendezvous Point are seeing, and they're, you know, they said after about 20 years, I don't know when the building was built. I couldn't tell you when that was done. But the people that I've talked to that have come to me says they don't know if anything has ever been done on the inside of the building since the building was built. So they're wanting to know if there's any upgrades or anything, clean refreshment, stuff like that that you can do to it. Which leads to the next one, which is interior fresh paint. In there's scuff marks on the walls and stuff. There's water stains in the, what would you call that? The crafts room. If you look up, you can see where water has leaked through the ceiling and it stained the ceiling. So there's the brown marks on the ceiling. So they were wanting to talk about that. The cover over the delivery vehicle loading and unloading that they do 3 times a day to the jail and the barbecue area when they do barbecue hot dogs or hamburgers, it's all right there together. Wanting to know if there was something they could do, putting a cover over that and or a carport maybe because when they're out loading the meals for the home deliveries and or the jails, the people are, if the weather's bad.
So while you're on that one.
Oh, yeah.
So now what do we, you know, that's a big area, that barbecue area. So what are you talking about covering?
Well, I don't know. The dumpster enclosure is just on the outside of that. So I don't know if it would be prudent to put something from the dumpster cover, because that's where they do the barbecue in, because they can't.
Oh,
do
not for
barbecue.
people out there to eat, just where they got those barbecue.
Oh,
grills.
correct.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking maybe, you know, they just want like barbecuing out there eating areas.
No, that's
Okay.
coming up, but
Well, I
not,
appreciate
that
it.
doesn't,
Cool. Okay.
but we're talking just the area where
I understand.
they put the loading car right there. So we're talking about that area. The patio area on the west side, if there was some way we could put a windbreak on the edge of the cement before the grass over on, if you go to the coast, which I'm sure probably everybody's been there, but if you go to the coast, just about all the restaurants have a solid wall about 3 foot tall, and then they have a plexiglass up to 6 or 7 feet, so that you can still view when the coastal areas while you're over there eating on the restaurants on their outdoor patios. And I was wondering if something like that could be done on the outside edge of the concrete on the west side, where we have the picnic tables and the umbrellas and everything. If we had some, because right now it's used very, very little. Even on the nice days, the people don't go out there because there's usually a breeze that we have in Wyoming, you know, that would interrupts their eating and stuff. So if we had a windbreak or something, is what people have come to me and talked about. So that's why I'm bringing it up to you guys. It would be nice if we could do that.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I mean, I've been over there looking around. Okay,
Right,
you
right,
know, so,
right.
so would you be objective to having it solid be so much cheaper and maintenance, less maintenance if it was a solid windbreak, you know?
Well, if you did a solid, then you would lose the if you would, the ambiance of the visual out
Nursing
to
home
the out.
over there.
Yeah, exactly. You could see
No,
that.
I'm just thinking, you know,
right.
the money's gonna get a little tight. I'm just thinking, I'm just throwing stuff out.
Sure,
Like say,
sure.
just one person, but you know, you go in that plexiglass and the wind, you know, like 70-mile-an-hour winds we had a while back. It's gonna take a beating, you know.
Well, that now, okay, keep that thought. Go to the next one.
How long?
Yes, about 30 seconds.
Okay.
If you go to the next point, I understand there was architectural plans, which we already have the blueprints. Somebody from maintenance yard came and picked them up out of the director's office. So somebody already has those blueprints. But they had blueprints of extending the building out to the edge of the cement, which we could use the extra space. Because our little crafts room is, well, they call them the stable stitchers. They can't bring their sewing machines in the little crafts room, you know where I'm talking about, Dave? I think Doug has seen it too. Maybe all of you have seen it, but they can't, when they bring their sewing machines to do their stitching and their quilt making that they do, there's not enough room in there for them, so they all can't bring their sewing machines and be working at the same time. So we're outgrowing, you've been there, I know you've been there for some of the meals that we've had, and it's just packed. We're not just in the dining area, but we go and set up all sorts of other tables over in the, I don't know what you call it, the common area over there where they have
Recreation area.
the what?
Recreation.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah.
exactly.
Cool, yeah.
But anyway, apparently I've been told that back, and I don't know how many years ago, I would be misquoted, but they drew up plans to extend the building out to the edge of the cement, which would give us more room for everything. So I don't know if I'm just throwing that out there. I realize that we can't do everything that's on the list, but these are the things that have come to me from the constituents. Many of them are the town people that have lived there they have lived here all their lives. And so now I would think that we would want to keep a nice facility for them to come for lunch. So. Any questions?
I just wanted to point out a couple of things.
Why don't you get up here, Andre? We're gonna have a question for you.
Well, there's a few of the things on there, yeah, I've already worked. So when I got the quote, or was working on getting the quotes for the, door openers,
Thank you.
the reason the guy was there is we were looking at the stones already.
Oh, okay, good.
I already had one contractor look at them. He was having a difficult time trying to find something that matches.
Okay.
So I got a different contractor. He's funding. Just so he's going to work on that.
Okay, good.
And then the stuff like the blinds and like carpet and floors. So the process generally is that they need to email maintenance to let us know. No one said anything about like the blinds having slats. A lot of those little things, you email maintenance and we get it and then we just don't take care of it.
And let me, who does that? Am I supposed to do
No,
that or the
Tina's-
director?
Tina.
The director should be
Yeah.
doing, okay, all right.
Yeah, she should be letting me know some of
Okay.
these, like this, especially the smaller stuff that we can just come fix.
Yeah, right,
Like the
right.
blinds or, no one's brought up anything about the stains on the, like a lot of these things I've never, no one said anything. So, and some of it is stuff that we would have just taken.
Okay.
And then I guess in closing or extending the building thing, I vaguely remember, that discuss, and that was just so you're aware that it was brought to the commission and they didn't. want to do it. So,
You know how long ago that was? Ron?
it's been some years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't, it's all before my time, so I don't have this things.
So, but the stones stuff, I'm already getting, estimates on that. The concrete, so I do a certain portion of concrete every year.
Mhm.
I budget for, this is all over the county, where I see it bad, and that one actually is the main one. I'm probably only doing that one because it's gonna be so expensive.
Mhm.
That's already on the list as well.
Yes,
What
sir.
about the gutters and the ice? I mean, that's something that's taken care of. That's a safety issue. for
That's
those
never
type
been
of
brought up to
folks.
me either, but, as far as the ramp goes, I mean, what we've been doing the last 10 years is, when we come do snow in the mornings, we salt the ramp and stuff. We keep a bucket there, Sublette salt. They salt the ramp. If, like, let's say it's just wet or icy and it didn't snow and we didn't get there, they put that down. The heat is not on the roof. It's there, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's just runoff from when we get the warm days.
Oh, okay.
So there's some adjustments or additions to those gutters that can
I can.
cure some of those ice issues.
Someone's gonna have to show me what the issue is.
Sure, I can,
And then we also ice melt back there by the vehicle. Delivery. So too.
yeah. I just like I say, we've got, we've got, well, I don't know if you know, anybody know Erling Golden?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you know her, yeah. Well, she's 93 now and she's living over in Aspen and she walks over there every day and with the walker, with the cane, but now with the situation, she's having to use a walker that she can walk and sit around and sit on. And when she's going through that area, because that's the closest area to come in when the weather's not nice, which is sometimes, but she'll walk right through that, the concrete area and with the walker and stuff, it's just,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good. It needs to be.
yeah, so. Anyway,
That's gonna be in the budget that'll be the cost. And then I actually talked to Ben Davis already about getting a bid or a quote for interior. That's something.
yes. So, and like I say, I haven't had a chance to talk to Andre. I've seen him a couple of times over there, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him here recently since a lot of the stuff was brought to my attention. Like I say, I'm new to the board, and so everybody's coming to me and telling me all these different things and stuff. So I said, well, if this is the procedure that we need to do, then I need to come in and talk to the commissioners and see what we can do. So, but I guess, I don't know, in the future, do I need to just talk to Andre or?
You
is
should
that-
come to me first, yeah.
Okay, is that okay? I'm learning all the protocols here, so help me out, guys. If there's anything that I'm doing right or wrong, let me know and we can. get things
So I'm
taken care
sure
of.
he'll keep working with us and, the ones that he can knock off this list and that
Mhm.
narrows it down for us, what we can, is our priority too, so.
Okay, well, that's super. I mean, I don't know if anybody at Rendezvous Point has come to the commissioners before, that recently, or, I don't know,
Usually it's Tina's only,
oh, okay,
so,
okay.
but we got a couple people here who want to recognize them, ask if they have a comment.
Oh, yeah. They're my backup. You have anything that you need to add or?
I can't say because I've been sitting here for 5 minutes.
Oh, okay,
So I don't know what you've addressed already, but we have the list, and so,
good then.
once you've addressed the list with all the guys, you have satisfactory answers, and I think we're good.
Went over, so.
I thought it was
So where we're at on this is Rich has been kind enough to explain everything to us, provide us with a list. I provided Andre the list. He said some of these things I've not seen or known about. So he'll go back over with a list and identify everything and make the appropriate repairs or come back asking for direction from the board. So we appreciate you taking the time to bring it to our attention.
Any other questions?
I'll put, we invite you back anytime. Seriously,
Well,
just get on the agenda,
Yeah.
because we appreciate seeing this too.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's, as the things come to me, I review it with some of our board members here, I review it with them, and then we go over it, and if there's something that is viable that can get done, and Andre is available, and we can go from there.
Just send an email to Andre and he's on top of everything.
Okay, I'll get all that information from him, his email and everything, so we can do things appropriately, I guess.
Great.
One more question. Great. So concrete work, can you do it in this budget? Or you're gonna wait till the next?
It's the next one.
So it's kind of a priority. I don't know.
I mean, if you wanna I mean, it's still not gonna get.
Hopefully it needs to wait till summer.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna
gotta
be
be-
here. Well, would that be July though? I mean, no,
Yeah.
before you could really get to it, but
I
maybe
mean, we
not.
can look at it in the spring and I'll see.
Well, if we got some idea what it costs,
Yeah, I can get Josh over there, and look at it.
well, I'd appreciate that.
And that, how's the status on the doors? I heard that you had somebody.
I haven't got the estimate yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That guy's pretty slow, cause I'm not slow, he's just busy.
Busy.
So I'll bug him.
Okay.
I got a couple of.
Yeah, because that, I think, well, when I met with Doug out there, Doug came in and we couldn't even get the door open.
Well, I couldn't. I can tell you that. Well, I could, but I had to bear right down.
Yeah.
Sam could have just jerked it right open. I, on the other hand, took both hands to get it open. But
Well-
no, it needs to be addressed. There's no doubt about that.
I appreciate I appreciate you coming out and getting it done ahead of time, so that's good.
Were any of these things, the county having buildings around the county, were any of these things a like, oh my gosh, moment? For a senior center, or are these things like normal things for Sublette County buildings that just get addressed here and there?
Well, most of it's pretty just normal.
Pretty normal maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm. Over time.
Mandatory.
Old buildings.
Or what?
So when you got a 20-year-old building, that's pretty normal, you know, yeah, at some point you gotta think about paint or carpet or. Yeah. So,
Or we got there late. We didn't say, we didn't think we were late.
Okay,
You guys were early, we were late, right?
that's correct. You're never late, Ruth.
Yeah, well, so when I look at this list, and Andre touched on it, a lot of this stuff is just normal maintenance, and if he's not aware of it, it's pretty difficult for him to address it. So that's the communication with him and whomever out
Right.
on the point is critical to getting this stuff taken
Well-
care of.
Andre and I will be on speed dial for a while.
yeah.
Excellent. Any questions?
I'm good.
Thank you for everything you're doing over there. Sure appreciate it. Thank you, Andre. Up next, board appointments.
But you're running a little too early. Nobody's yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, we did ask that all of the board appointee applicants, the board applicants, be here if they could, and we are ahead of schedule. So I don't know if you'd like to proceed without them being present. There was one who could not be present, and she is already online. Just,
Is that Spring?
no,
Okay, Springmore called me for the Ag Center appointee, and she'd not be able to make it in today.
okay. And I don't know whether they are all gonna be able to make it or not, but we did ask at your request. You have requested in the past that they attend, so would you like to proceed to a different point or go ahead? I will also say to that end that the only contested decision you had, one of those people has withdrawn, so you have the exact number of applicants as you have positions right now.
Sure.
However you'd like to proceed.
So are you thinking the magic wand takes care of all of it at once?
There is one decision you have to make about which appointee you're gonna have fill a remainder term and which one will be a full term. But besides that,
We don't have enough to fill in. Let's go to, we'll bump Peter Paulin up next. If Union's, available and ready to present, probably not. But after Peter, we can put you up into the administrative update.
okay.
Please. Thanks for coming over. Appreciate it.
Morning, Mr. Chairman,
Morning.
Commissioners, Happy New Year. A quick report, and then as requested by the commission, I have my budgets here. The midterm budgets.
Thank you.
Yep. You guys have the copies of them there. So we'll start with a report, I guess, that's okay. November visitation numbers, we saw about 384 actual counted visitors in the visitor center in Pinedale, down about 8.6% from should say November of 24, sorry, and down 14% from November 2023. Should say November there. My apologies on that. The referral programs holding strong around 20%. Top referrals from the visitor center were outdoor rec, restaurants, and lodging. States that visited are listed there, and the top three were Wyoming, Colorado, and Nebraska. We recorded 0 out of country visitors and 0 bus stops in November. Tracking category, traveling through the area at 42, Sublette County as a destination 9, and locals looking for information at 21. So I guess the first part would be the budgets here. I presented, we have our county budget, which we went over last meeting. And so I have the 3 budgets, remaining budgets for the visitor center listed here. I met with Crystal Potter, our treasurer, and finalized these a week and a half ago, I guess. The numbers are as of 12/19/25. I highlighted the expenditures on each budget in yellow. And so the first budget is the Sublette County Visitor Center Big Piney. We're sitting about 45.3% of used budget for the fiscal year. In good shape there. We'll have some stuff. This spring, plans are to open the Big Piney facility mid-May, up and running. We'll have some more stuff I can discuss with you guys later this spring about some plans that we have down there for that particular facility. Is there questions that you guys may have that on this particular budget? Mainly the expenditures would get that facility open summer, so.
And this is Big Piney specific, correct, Peter?
Correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our board, the board will have some discussions about combining both the visitor center and the Pinedale visitor centers into one budget. So I don't have all these budgets. I think it probably work.
But wouldn't it be prudent to be able to, you can categorize them in a lump sum, but have subsections identifying?
Yeah, yeah. And that's up to your guys' approval, of course. If you want me to keep them separate, we can do so. Guys have any questions about that particular budget? We still have $7,000 out of that budget to use for opening this next spring.
Please.
So what's left to do in the building, Big Piney?
Yeah, we left it pretty open. I'm still hoping for some more local support when it comes to donations and stuff and for decor. I need to put a desk in there, a real desk. So we're kind of using folding tables at this point. We used last summer. So just little things that, get it up to par, I guess, would be the next step.
But the building part, construction is pretty much complete.
I don't know about the display room and the visitor or the big museum's offices yet. They're working on those this winter. We're hopeful that the display room especially will be open to next spring. So I'll check in with Clarissa again, the director of the museum, and we're still waiting for a lease. So I'm meeting with them later today to discuss a lease that and work out the details on it for moving forward. So yeah.
Good, thank you.
The next budget is the Visitor Center Pinedale. We're looking at, I've only used about 30.1% of that budget for this fiscal year. We still have around $21,000 left. I don't see any huge purchases in this next year. We'll see here, some things we haven't appropriated yet, like there's some money that we take. So each town contributed $3,000, Marbleton and Big Piney, towards the visitor center budget. And so part of that will go towards this. So we'll have to write that check to the next one. Any questions on that? Again, we talk about the staffing that gets reimbursed. So those are the updated numbers of budget that we used so far. And that would be under county staff reimbursement. Still got quite a bit of room there. So we'll have probably 2 employees down there next year and myself. So I guess, have any questions about that one?
So down there, both Big Piney and Marbleton contribute 3,000?
That we put in for $3,000 and 3,000 total for each town. 15 would go to the visitor center in Pinedale like they've done previous years. And then we'll just kick that other 3,000 into the other budget they were aware of that. We put that bid in for request into them already.
And what does the town of Pinedale contribute, please?
7,500.
Okay.
That was for the Pinedale location. So that stays with this budget here. So any questions on that one? So we're about 30% used for the fiscal year, sitting good with that one. The last one is the Sublette County lodging tax account. We still have 46% of that budget remaining. Total expenditures so far is $37,223.38. Those are the expenditures listed. We'll have some more stuff to take out of there and use on this budget. Sticker program, which I can talk about in a quick second after we get done with this. The work campers that we use at the visitor centers. There's that's a GMVC support at 15,500. And we've used up 8,000 of that. That goes onto the other sheet. So expenses so far at 37,223.38. And we still have 31,564.62 left. And that's 46% use.
Thank you for that, Peter. Any questions? Commissioner Bickering?
I was thinking about it. Yeah. So, Peter, you and I talked just a little bit about trying to figure out how to make a safe crossing from one side of the town to the other down there to visitor, pardon me, the visitor center. And I just saw or read or heard, and that's why I'm going to bring it up. YDOT is actually considering looking into the speed zones through Bondurant.
Yep.
And so I'm wondering if it wouldn't be, if they're considering that, it wouldn't be a good idea, maybe touch base and see if they'd have an idea of what to do for a crosswalk down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that's on our radar. I've reached out to YDOT to get some numbers from them to see, where we're sitting right now when it comes to traffic through there. So I'm waiting to hear back from them, and I guess our step would be to put a request in for a crossing there. Absolutely. So
Yeah,
that's probably,
I was surprised to see, because we as this commission that sat here have asked YDOT more than once to do something about the speed through Bondurant, which is horrendous at times. And so I felt really good when I read that they were going to consider looking at that. So that's a positive sign.
Yeah.
And
they put out a survey, I guess I saw, of residents to make comments, public comment on that. So we'll see how that goes.
okay, fine. Thank you. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Peter? Good job, Crystal. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna finish up right here real quick with the
Okay,
rest of
please.
this real quick. I'll have 2025 year-end numbers for the next meeting, so I'm just waiting for some to come in. Our board has decided to work with even more with the Wyoming Office of Tourism and they have their Wyoming Best and Destination Development Programs. I'm currently will have plans to meet with them this week about getting into that program through the Wyoming Office of Tourism. I can provide some paperwork on that program. What that does is open us up for funding that we can use. And so my board and myself discussed the need of building that itinerary between I-80 and the 189 and 91 junction. So one thing we've done so far already is that, I'm probably familiar with the Wyoming sticker program. This is the route that we're talking about here, coming off of I-80. So I've already initiated with approval of the board to for Big Piney and Marbleton to have their own sticker down there and a pickup location on this route to start enhancing and meeting with Kemmer and their chamber and their tourism board down there about what we can do to promote this area right here. Because most people, as we know, come up 189 or 91, or they go up this way. So to enhance this route, which seems to be neglected here. So that's been a goal of ours for a long time, and we're moving forward. And so they're going to design a new sticker for Big Piney and Marbleton. And I'll bring that for you to take a look at, approval, I guess, to have a look at it. So we'll have a pickup location. I made sure to say I want Big Piney and Marbleton on that sticker together. And so they're working on that design right now. And so that's part of that program. So that's going on there. Any questions on it? Bring some more stuff for you guys on it if you're interested. Plans to attend the Wyoming Tourism Conference in February and the 2026 Wyoming Outdoor Rec Conference in April of 2026. Those are two real good conferences that I get a lot of information from and do some marketing ideas and networking with all the rest of the people in the state. And so it's pretty cool to talk to them guys. We have our welcome bag program initiated, and we have, I think, 3 or 4 set up for the next probably 45 days. We're providing about 500 welcome bags for a hockey tournament, the senior games, the Stampede. So we have welcome bags that we provide information in, and businesses bring their swag, I guess you'd call it, or rack cards or flyers, and we stuff those bags and we provide those to the event so people have something to some information in there. And last thing I have is we are good to go with the 2026 hot dog eating contest for the Winter Carnival, and it'll be in the Lovett Room on February 13th at 6 o'clock. So if you guys want to come by, I'm just gonna sign up Commissioner Bradley, but I don't know if he's ready. Okay, man, sounds great. So open to any questions or good?
I've got one more, just a suggestion, because I like the sticker thing, but I'm also wondering if, and I don't know what it would cost you to do it, but maybe just a little 2-page pamphlet with some of the bullet points on that museum.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, once people would see some of the stuff that's in there, that might reroute folks in some direction.
Yeah, so Big Piney and Marbleton have a visitor's guide. I think I'm part of the Big Piney Marbleton Community Development Group as well. So talks are to redo that visitor guide and update it. And so we would include the visitor center on there and also some more points for the museum and stuff. So that's in the works.
Yeah, but that thing is just full of history.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the focal point. I mean, the museum is there. People, as you know, don't seem to notice it. It gets this much visitation comparative to the Museum of the Mountain Man. And so that's kind of what this whole new visitor center down there is, having that asset right next door. It's just the beginning of hopefully, having a good stop for people on the way up through.
So how do these places, you travel around, you see a lot of signs pointing at 89 up through Star Valley and stuff, route to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
You see them up through Thermopolis that way. I don't see anything on 191.
No.
Nothing on 189.
No.
How do you get those signs around the country?
So talking to working with Kemmer, I think getting us a established sign on 80 to direct people more. it's something I'm learning about and I have to work with YDOT and all these things. So stuff we're working on, and I wanted to include Kemmer because they're a big part of that. They have assets down there too that are attractive, I think, to travelers to consider that route. And we'll just market it as a access point to the parks and up through our county from I-80. And I would think we could do a lot of good things with people coming from the Southwest, California, Arizona, coming up through that way. That's their access area most of them. They go up to Evanston and they take that route through Afton. So
Sure.
that.
So in the westbound lane on 80, used to be a sign. It had Van Huffman's picture on it,
Oh, okay.
mountain man pit type
Mhm.
picture, but I don't know whatever happened to it.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll look into it.
Well, I don't know who was. Might ask him.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably know.
Sure.
About.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, this destination program is gonna open up funds that will allow us to have opportunities to fund that, to fund these signs, to fund more stuff. And, the whole focus is this corridor. I think Pinedale and 191 is plenty of opportunities up through there. We're seeing, increased traffic and stuff. So, but our focus is mainly on that Highway 189 moving forward for this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know that the museum is a huge draw and rightfully so, but I'm telling you, for the folks who live here locally, that little museum down at Big Piney's got a lot to offer.
It really does. And I really encourage all the residents of Sublette County to check out that museum. And it's not only free, but it has a lot of the history of South County in that area. And, people that,
Well, maybe that's the issue. If it's charged too much, people want to go see what's in there.
yeah, it is free. Right, exactly. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Good. Thank you for that, Peter.
All right, gentlemen. have a good
Sure,
day.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you, Peter.
Thanks. Tressa Barnes? Good morning.
You.
I'm delivering.
Meet you outside there. Oh. Thanks, Hank.
Yeah.
Something edible.
It is. This is Ryan Schmidt, our engineering director.
Howdy, Ryan.
Good morning.
So it's been a while since we talked to you guys. It's nice to meet you. I don't know if you were here last. Everybody changed their seats on me.
Yeah,
Well, we don't see.
it was Sam's fault, by the way.
It's that move.
Yeah.
No, because our builds are done up here. Yes, this much up here with construction, but we wanted to really start out. I know we come up here a lot and talk about our fiber build of the last few years, but as we've been meeting with different councils, just reminding people about how long Union's actually been here. We've been here since 1914, so quite a while. And we're a locally owned company in Wyoming. The Woodies own the company. And they started out obviously with landline, and then moved into the wireless industry in the late 90s, and now have done fiber throughout quite a bit of the state, heavily up in your county. So, and then the second slide that we have is just talking about the economical impacts of choosing local and what that really does in our communities. So for every $100 spent with an independent company, there's $70 to $80 back into the local economy, compared to just 15 from big business chains. And so we've been really trying to talk to communities about this and also partner with other local businesses to highlight each other's businesses throughout the state, to bring people into supporting local businesses, because it keeps careers here. It strengthens our community. It brings, jobs, it brings better infrastructure to the state. So it's something that we want to just start a dialogue about and give some statistics around, because it's very important that we continue to support each other in Wyoming. And then Ryan, I'll let you talk a little bit about the network, since he's the one who has
part of the network.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, I think you guys are well aware of our fiber work that's been going on for the better part of 5 years, in the Pinedale area specific. But we have also built fiber in Big Piney and Marbleton. Both of those communities are connected with fiber. We also have a significant amount of fixed wireless services that we offer to the more rural residents all across Sublette County. So that's over the air broadband. Big news though, is we just recently wrapped up our wireless build, where we have overlaid all of our infrastructure and kind of migrating from the 3G, legacy 3G technology to now VoLTE technology. So better data speeds, more reliable data speeds, and voice over LTE now, which is cleaner, crisper, clearer voice calls. So that build is done in Sublette County. All towers have been overlaid. All of that equipment is currently operational and functional. And we just launched our last cluster, the 10th of December, which was kind of that northern area of Sublette County, basically from the South Rim area all the way across Pinedale, wrap around down toward Farson. And all of that is online. We do have plans to turn down the 3G technology in about 2 weeks. So that will go away. We will reallocate that spectrum to the new VoLTE network, which will give it that much more, it'll make it that much more robust. So that's kind of what's happening on that front. But upgraded technology, new networks, all across the board here in Sublette County.
And then a few other things we've enhanced, with customer support, is we've enhanced some payment options where you can use like Venmo and different payment options. We have a live chat now. You can text if you prefer. And everything comes from our local customer service team. We have a customer care center in Mountain View, and then others throughout the state of Wyoming. So, and then a few events that we've done here recently. We did a grocery store event up here in Pinedale on the 12th of November. And then we've been doing these local coffee shop events where we go in and we're just talking about the new network, we're buying people coffee. And we're looking to partner with some coffee shops here in Sublette County in the next few months to do those kind of things as well. And then here's just some of the things that we've been doing for deals. We do a refer a friend. It's worth $50 if you refer a friend and they sign up with any union service. You can bring a bill in to see if we can beat what you're doing with a different provider. If you do that, you get a free screen protector, regardless of if you can. And then we have an upgrade and save program where you can get $799 towards a new device. Those are just some of the things that we've been up to. So we just wanted to come back up and update you guys and ask if you have any questions.
So I got a question.
Sure.
And I'm just talking for one side. Okay. So I bank down here to local bank. And they have a lot of trouble with their service. But they say they can't get hooked onto you. Now, is there some reason?
It depends what service are you talking about? Is it the broadband? Yes. Where it gets a little tricky is voice service, so their landline service. Because we are not a LEC provider here in Sublette County. We're working on what they call CLEC, which is a competitive provider in the area, which will allow us to branch out outside of our current boundaried areas, which is kind of Uinta County, Carbon County, which is our old legacy landline areas. Once we get that through the regulatory or a voice product over it's called voice over IP. So it's a VoIP service. So basically they, excuse me, connect to a fiber network. We provide a fiber to that business and they can run their phone system over the fiber optics. It doesn't require a copper cable anymore. So that's something that we have to go through the regulatory arms to get that approved to operate as a CLEC. So now what we're in the process of doing right now is getting all of the interconnections that we have to get with the larger nationwide companies such as CenturyLink, Lumen, in order to transport 911 and different calls in and out of state.
So there's a few places in town might fall into that category.
Correct.
So now if you go down there and talk to them, okay, they switch to union, I can get that $50.
You can get the $50.
Yeah, so I appreciate if you stop this. No, no, I'm serious, serious. It's First Western Bank. Yeah, they're right down the street here, but forget about the 50.
Yeah.
But anyway, no,
Yeah.
we had quite a visit and, they was they didn't know why they couldn't, so.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
We
They
might be
definitely
able
shouldn't
to-
be able to get fiber, but they may be having some issues, like Brian said, with their landlines.
Because the reason I know is you occasionally go in there to bank and you can't because they're just
Yeah, their machines are down,
exactly
delayed.
a little frustrating. for
Yeah.
them, So
Understand.
anyway,
Yeah.
I'd appreciate if you just
Sure.
Beverly's the one there that you would talk to and just explain it.
And make sure that you say you were sent by Dave.
I will.
We will.
Absolutely.
Drop your name.
Yeah.
And then they won't even talk to you.
Be like, "Out of here." Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions?
So I got a statement and a question. Statement first, Dave, I'll loan you the 50 if you need it. Now, the question, the question I have is I could be sitting at my house and talking with, say, Dave Stevens in Pinedale. We'll be chatting right along and zip, away it goes. And sometimes I can call him right back and he'll answer and away we go again. And sometimes this could occur 2 or 3 times and then the next day, nothing. So what is creating that when everything says everything's fine, but yet it goes wherever it goes and you're not talking to anybody anymore? What creates those issues?
There's a whole, I mean, there's a slew of things, right? That it could be a glitch in a piece of the equipment that you're connected to, that you're transmitting that call off of. On the technology side, that caused it to drop. It could be, you're not having any issues on the transport side of it, correct? The call's connecting. You're getting the call to connect, it's dropping as you're in mid-conversation.
Right. Yeah.
So it could be, I mean, anything from like a small power surge that hit one of the pieces of equipment that was carrying your call. It could be, there's a slew of things that could trigger that to just automatically drop it.
When's the last time that occurred? Because it'd be interesting to see if it was prior to the new network being brought online. Because that should, now that the new network's here, that should reduce those kind of issues that you were seeing before.
Okay, well, I can see a Union Tower from my house. That's why it makes me wonder why it shouldn't, why I shouldn't be able to stay connected all the time, pardon me, all the time.
Well, we can take a look at it as well. As far as where your location is and make sure there's no shadowing from the site specifically.
Okay, well, it's not a big, it's an aggravating thing.
I agree.
It's what it is, more than anything
No,
else.
I agree 100%.
So. Okay, well, anyway, my wife's happy. It's all I know. She's got internet and that's important to have.
Glad about that.
That's all I have.
Nick. Thank you so much for your time and coming up. Good information to have and appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. First Western Bank.
First Western Bank. Great.
Well, I'll be back.
Want to take a 10-minute break? Okay, we'll take a 10-minute break.
That's fine.
Thank you.
You're 20, I don't care.
I think we'll do board appointments next, please.
Now I set them out. Mr. Chairman, you have before you a packet of board appointments. As I said earlier, when we postponed this, we have the exact number of applicants now for each position. So if we can start with the Fair Board, Cody Post is here. I don't know if you want to just go ahead and make that appointment or have him present something to you. That's at your pleasure.
Candidates report on this or just have recognition?
I read all of it. That's like. If they got.
Then Cody.
Oh, Cody Post. Sorry about that, man.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Cody Post for Sublette County Fair Board. Commissioner Vickery has some questions, please.
Must be doing a good job, Cody. There's no competition, right?
I don't know if anybody wants to.
Here, do you want mine?
What's the highs and lows of the board right now? Anything exciting and scary?
I mean, the only thing that's exciting is we changed our investments over to that Wyoming class deal, which is really good because we actually get paid interest on the money. There's $468,000 in there, and so we're getting.
Did you guys deal with Troy on that?
Hmm.
Did you guys deal with Troy on that?
It's a pretty good deal too. 'Cause you
It
can
is.
go in and out as much as you want. There's no penalties. And there's really no competition. There's only 2 places that's allowed to even do it in the state, so.
I think that's where we got the majority of our stuff right now too.
Sounds like the majority of the state is. They're a lot better deal than the other one is, I guess. So. And that looks like county fair's on track for. We don't have any issues right now, so we're going to expand a few things and try to help the sale a little bit.
That's a good sale.
Hmm?
You got to do to help it. It's a pretty good sale.
Oh, just more some buyer recognition type stuff. You know, just because Settle County does support the kids so well. I'd really like to get something for the buyers. Some sort of recognition pictures or, not just a picture of the kid, but maybe, some pictures of the buyers.
What are livestock numbers this year? We'll get.
I don't know. I just got an email that we're short a whole bunch of beef kids. I'm hoping that, they just haven't got signed up, but they have to be signed up by the end of this month. And we're down, we only have 47 plus. I went through the list and I seen kids that I know are showing beef and they just weren't on there. So I'm gonna start making some phone calls.
Kids have to go buy one today. They're not able to raise it, say, at a house.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna eliminate a lot.
I think it is too. I mean, the price of that thing is crazy.
It's crazy.
And the feed's going up. We've been getting feed out of Farson for our deal. It actually comes from IFA. It's our mix and comes in totes, cheap as you can get it. Last year it was $400 and now it's 600 and something. The corn's gone down.
Yeah.
They're just doing it because they can. And the kids buying sacked feed. I try to tell everybody, to go this route because it's so much cheaper, but sacked feed's almost $1,000 a damn ton.
Okay, great, thanks. Any questions, Commissioner Vickery?
No, but I got a suggestion, because look at. This is just me. I see some of the dress code for the kids showing livestock.
Mhm.
It doesn't look appropriate. How's that sound? I'd kind of like to see those kids when they come in there to kind of be spiffied up and,
I 100% agree.
and I don't know how you address that, quite honestly. I know it's a tough call, but if you go to, say, one of the bigger shows somewhere, The boys have got a tie on, girls are dressed appropriately. You know, I saw some come through.
Can you turn your mic on, please, Commissioner Vickers?
Didn't want anybody hear me.
You gotta repeat it all.
I heard you fine.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. You know, a couple of years ago at State Fair, it was on the beef show. And it was, I think it was actually the first round of kids came out there. And a bunch of these kids were wearing Hey Dude shoes and they have a fade jacket on.
Yeah.
They had Hey Dude shoes and junky pants, you know what I mean? Not.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. That's what I'm,
Gets on
yeah,
in the mic. It says, we're here to show beef. You wear cowboy boots and, you know what I mean, dress appropriately, and well, he really got after them kids. And if they're not dressed appropriately and on showmanship side of it, that judge is not gonna.
yeah. Well, I think it should be just, you know, it's an honor really
Oh, it is.
to be able to sell and the amount of money these kids are getting, whether it's a down there, it doesn't matter. You know, for years, and it's still that way, I think most of the folks don't buy the animal, they buy the kid, basically.
Yeah.
Has been for years. And so if you present yourself in an appropriate manner, I'll put that like that, you know, can only enhance, I would think.
I will definitely look into that, because I don't know if there is a dress code or not. I know on the national shows there isn't, but it is. It's like not a unwritten rule. You show up like that, you're not doing well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. And I don't know that it's,
But a lot of the kids don't care if they do well. They're just there to sell their animal. That's the.
yeah, no, that's very true. And that's, you know, it's okay to not have to have the fluorescence, if you would, but it's okay to be presentable.
Agreed.
So
I'll look
anyway,
into that.
that's my comment.
Make a motion to appoint Cody Post to the 5-year term for the Sublette County Fair Board.
You have a motion by Commissioner Bradley. Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Hell of a discussion,
Discussion.
because I didn't get my question.
Oh,
I
I'm
got
sorry.
two. So I watch them over there a lot of times when checking in. Okay.
Yep.
And that's a poor setup. You know how they go and the hog comes right behind them, the guy's sitting there writing stuff down. When they come out of that, they're right in there with the same guys.
On the weigh-ins.
Yes. That is, and then it's dark. I watched the lady, well, she's not on there anymore, but you know, have you looked at it? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, and we changed some things around last year. That was an issue. The weigh-ins were prior. Last year's the best it's ever ran.
I mean,
The
it's such a
pig
large
side-
Facility,
The pig side needs some work.
yeah.
The beef side, we changed it up a bunch because that was where the major, you know, pick the low hanging fruit. That was the biggest issue.
Yeah.
So we set up 2 shoots. It went year before last, I think it took us like 6 hours to weigh them in. And last year it took us 2 hours. So,
Because when the hog walks in, you know.
Yep.
It's over here in front of them, they're testing it. Comes out and here's the guy sitting here, goes behind the chairs where those guys are sitting, you know? That's a little, to me, I mean,
Yep.
I mean,
oh no, it is, because I go out there and sort them at the end.
yeah.
And we have a good plan to start with. The pigs are supposed to go from the far end, starts first. They go all the way around. And then when they leave, they go back to their pen. So it's always a revolving deal. Well, that works fine for a little bit until some wild pig gets turned out and it runs the opposite way. Then pretty soon they're all mixed together.
Well, yeah, because if you had one that's contrary there, like you watch, so they let the second one
Mhm.
out, and they haven't got the first one out of there, you know?
Yep.
So another thing, and there must be a reason why. Why do the kids continue to look at the judge when they're out there showing?
You're supposed to. So,
But they lose track of their pig.
well, so
No, I know.
I agree.
No, they're just, they look at just like, and the judge not looking at them, is that just,
Okay, so to start with the kids,
here, get a
They-
little
they
closer to the
always-
microphone, everybody
okay,
must hear.
so to start with the kids, they're told all the time, it's part of show etiquette, you know, watch the judge, pay attention to the judge.
but they're kids also. So they're trying to juggle two things, chewing bubble gum and walking at the same time. They need to be first taking care of their animal. If they can control their animal, then start looking at the judge. Some of the kids get it backwards.
But you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
If you haven't been there to watch, I mean, it's like way overemphasized.
Oh, yeah. Well, and a lot of kids, like, literally are there to sell their animal.
Yeah, like,
You know, there's half the kids probably in the whole thing are there for the experience. The other half are there to show their animal or sell their animal. The ones that are really there to show, their pigs broke so well. They've worked with it so much. It stays with them. You know, it's not a big deal. A lot of these kids have never even taken their pig for a walk until it goes to fair. So it turns out into this open pen and it just goes wild. Starts
Oh, yeah.
bucking and running around. And
okay, well, thanks.
that's my explanation anyways.
No, that's, I mean, it seems like it gets more doing that. I mean, it's really,
And we as a fair board want as much local input that we can, because a lot of times you do stuff and you've just been doing it for so long, that's just the way you do it. Somebody like yourself on the pig thing, weighing them in, might have an idea and we've never really addressed it. And then look at it and be like, oh yeah, shoot, this would make it way better. And I've been trying to get a lot more community involvement in it, because prior, I don't think there was. People were great on complaining, but not giving a solution, as you guys deal with in here too.
I think,
So,
Further questions? Have a motion and second. No further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
thank you.
You're a board member.
I'll do my best. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks much. Can I get my sheet back, Commissioner Vickery?
Pardon me?
Can I get my sheet back?
I guess. I found mine.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, next we have the rec board. and
Great.
We initially had 3 applicants. One had to withdraw his application because of a conflict of interest with his work. And at the end of the rec board appointments, I'll say a little bit more about that to the members of the rec board who are here, if that's okay. But present today is Tricia Scott in the room. And then I believe if she's still on, Carrie Wenz is online. She had to be at work today. She may have had to get off because I told her you were running ahead and she joined then, but. Would you like Tricia to come up?
What are you shaking your head about, Roger? You want to come up instead? The one's not here?
I'm on already.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Corey, thank you. I apologize for that. I did, it's because my handwriting's so bad. I scribbled it down.
Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for applying, doing this,
You're welcome. Thank you.
of course. Please, it starts with questions from the board, if any. Commissioner Vickery?
Mm. No. I got Cody.
Great.
I don't have any.
Commissioner White? Great. Thank you so very much for doing this. Truly appreciate you and the efforts that you put in for us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Did I hear that Corey Wentz is applying, I hope?
You did.
Yes.
Okay, well, that would be wonderful, and I hope that she is, and I hope that you'll vote her in. We need more people from Big Piney.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
I've got to vote.
Oh, sorry.
well, I was gonna add, there is one full term available, so that would be a 5-year term, and there's one remainder term because Eddie Delgado, or Delgado, I think he pronounces it, resigned. And so you will need to decide on your appointment, which is to be the 5-year term and which will expire on December 31st of 2026. So a 1-year term, 1-year remainder term.
Great. Did you have a preference?
For what I am applying for. I don't think I do. We'll just see what the record needs. I think that's the most
Okay.
important.
So
I think that's-
throw this out. Means Corey is from Big Piney. I'd like to see her on the long-term seat. And you on the 1 year seat.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Would that be acceptable to Corey?
Oh, yes, if she's on there, we can find.
Corey?
Let her know that her mic's unmuted.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Were you able to hear Commissioner Bradley's statement?
I was, and that sounds acceptable to me.
That is acceptable. Great. Okay, so we have Tricia Scott for the December 25 to term end of 8/14/20. When does it expire?
It expires 12/31/26.
Great.
I'd make a motion to appoint Tricia Scott to a 1 year term on the Recreation Board.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great. Thank you so much.
Good.
We're good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you need, that's fine. Do you need another motion? Did you just do Tricia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd make a motion to appoint Corey Wins to the 5 year term on the Recreation Board.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second for Corey Wenz for the 5-year term. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Corey. Thank you so much. Next.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, the next board is the Certified Local Government, which we kind of call historical preservation around here. And you have 4 positions, 4 applicants, and they are all returning applicants. They are Bob Fireman, Clint Gilchrist, Don Schooley, and Andrea Lewis, and Andrea is present today.
You look pretty excited about that, Andrea.
You know. Never been called to the front before.
Well, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate you. Commissioner Vickery, questions?
Well, when I look at this thing, I'm thinking, if you want to run with this bunch of guys again, more power to you. And so that's the only comment I've got.
Okay. We have Andrea Lewis, Don Schooley, Clint Gilchrist, Bob Behrman, all returning, applying for another term. Is there any motion or just,
I'd make a motion to appoint Bob Byerman, Clint Gilchrist, Don Schooley, and Andrea Lewis to 3-year terms.
have a motion by Commissioner Bradley? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Stevens. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All passed, accepted, painless.
It really was. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you.
Okay, next up, you have the Ag Center. That's a 3-member board and it's 3-year terms. You have 1 vacancy and that is Spring Moore, and she has reapplied. She contacted Mac and said that she would not be able to make it today.
She's on.
Oh, she is online?
Great. Welcome, Spring.
She's unmuted. She wants to unmute herself.
She's muted. She's,
Can you guys hear me now?
there you go. Hello, Spring.
Hello, thank you guys for doing this over the video conference.
Well, thank you so much for putting your name in the hat here. Truly appreciate it. Any questions for Spring from the board? Everyone's passed. Commissioner Vickery?
I have none.
Great. Motion on Spring?
Make a motion to appoint Spring Moore to a 3-year term on the Ag Center.
Have a motion by Commissioner Bradley. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Ring. You won hands down. Thank you for
Thank you
doing
very
this.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next.
Okay, and finally, we have the Visitor Center Board. This is one seat that will complete a full term now. This is a person, Crystal Potter, who had applied not very long ago when we had a vacancy to
Correct.
fill, I think maybe Jessica's vacancy. And that term is up now, so she is reapplying for a new 3-year term.
How's it going?
Good, I'm still brand new. I was appointed the treasurer to the board. So I would appreciate the opportunity to continue to serve on the board.
Thank you so much. Questions for Crystal?
I'd make a motion to appoint Crystal Waters to the Visitor Center Board.
You have a motion, Commissioner Bradley. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Stevens. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Crystal, thank you so much.
Thank
Good job.
you. Thanks. She was a very good board member because we almost missed that one because it was so new. So I appreciate her bringing it to our attention. All right, Mr. Chairman, that is all.
Thank you.
Oh, rec board. May I let the rec board know, since he's still here, what our address? The applicant that had to withdraw because of a conflict of interest would love the opportunity to collaborate. I can give you his information. He is I'm gonna slaughter this, but basically the Rex person for the Forest Service. So if you ever need to collaborate, I can give you his contact. Okay, thank you.
Here.
Well, thank you for coming. Good to see you. I think if I have this in order, Clayton Malinkovich is up next.
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good, yourself?
Good, thanks. The only thing I have is the restated scholarship agreement with the UW Foundation. That's all I have. I've reviewed it. It matches, as I understand, what your criteria is. So I think that's all I've got.
Okay, and then you'll participate later with the AI and procurement policies.
Happy to participate in those
And
discussions.
then I have other items to come up with at that point in time. Any questions in this regard? That's it.
Yep, that's it.
We have a restated endowed scholarship agreement.
Need a motion to approve that?
We have a motion by Commissioner Bradley. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Vickery. Any discussion on this? No discussions? All in favor of?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
I think that's all I've got.
Jeanette Saxton, please.
She'll be back.
Be back.
Yes, you will. Thank you so much. You have the county administrator update?
Right. I just need some information, please, about whether Commissioner Stevens and Bradley would like to go to the WCCA Legislative Conference. That is February 11th through 13th. Your portion would start at 3 o'clock, so we could leave on the 11th. And it will be done on the 13th at 3:15, so we could return on the 13th.
So when's that possibly deadline be to get in?
I don't know if there is a deadline. I was waiting to reserve rooms until I knew, but I can wait.
Cheaper if you got it in early.
Not for this. I don't, there's not a deadline for this. I don't
Yeah, I'll
believe.
find out quickly.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah, this is-
Hot dogs.
Yeah, I actually did hear that February.
No, that's not.
But you might be back and you can fast
Yeah,
that
there you
day.
go. Yeah. And this is February 11th to February 13th. Great, thank you.
It's Wednesday through Friday.
It is.
Sign me in.
Sign him out. Okay. All right. And then a lot of this you've had the opportunity to read. Probably I did attend that Bridger Teton National Forest Cooperating Agency meeting in Marbleton. It went well. There is open enrollment essentially. The portal's open for the NACO Legislative Conference to pass resolutions. I'm on the Public Land Steering Committee. I imagine your resolutions are open, Commissioner White, in your committee. So if anybody has any resolutions they would like to be heard by the NACO organization, essentially NACO would then, the body would vote on it and then NACO would sponsor that resolution with the legislators. So if you have anything that's pressing, you feel like we need to get in, that portal is open right now. So let me know. And is that correct for yours too? The Waters of the United States, the WCCA is preparing comments on, or probably it has closed now. At the time that I wrote this, they were preparing comments, but I'm sure they have been submitted by now. You may have received those from the WCCA. You just signed the UW agreement that I had on my list. Are we going to continue to do the budget analyses for the second quarter? And if so, are they going to be in the same order, or do we need to discuss the order so that I can get those taken care of for you?
Opinion from the board on it? Do you want to continue or not?
I say give them the quarter off and then we beat them up over budget hearings, but
What if?
Hmm?
Myself, I'd rather see Emily come in and give us a report on what she's seeing coming in. I would look that way.
I
Okay.
believe that is going to happen today.
Today.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. As I asked for it.
Well-
Mr. Vickery?
Well, this is just me talking, but I think we ought to back off on some of these projects other than the ones that we've initiated until we in fact do know where we're at, because it's foolish to get something going and all of a sudden, geez, this is gonna cost more than we think. And I heard the discussion a little earlier about in-house projects being taken care of, and I think there's some validity to looking at that rather than just bid. And until we actually know, we have a good feel for what the revenue stream is going to look like. I'm a little hesitant about going out and pulling projects out of the sky, so to speak, and putting them on for this coming budget session. That's just my thought on it.
So what'd you say? Do you want to continue with having the individual departments come in or not?
Well, if it's going to make an impression, but part of what's, as I see what's going on, regardless, unless you just put the thumb on some of this stuff, doesn't matter what the budget's going to say when we go through, it's still going to happen. The expenditures. And so I think over time, and we've already committed to this budget session. So what we're going to do is, I mean, it's fine to have them come in and explain what's going on, but we've case in point. And I know it's a little thing, but every accounts payable, somebody's bought another bunch of tires from someplace. And they're expensive, and over time, it's a big issue, big item. And how do you make that not happen? I don't know. Because I thought we have given direction to go through Road and Bridge. Apparently that's not happening. And so bringing these guys in and sitting down and going through their budgets, I mean, it's an okay thing to do, but until we start saying, hey, this is gonna happen this year, so get ready for it. And we won't know that, I don't believe, until we have an idea where our budget or where our money's gonna be. And I didn't really answer the question. I know.
No, thank you. I'm sitting here
But,
thinking,
okay.
what the heck's
I'm
going on
just-
here? I'm asking
Yeah,
a question.
yeah.
Yes or no,
Yeah.
Mr. Vickery?
Well, I had to,
Holy heck.
I had to throw it out there. Yeah, it's fine.
Want to make sure that you knew that Emily's not bringing any reports or paperwork today.
Correct.
Neither is Lila or Layla, and neither am I. Just we're collectively going to discuss with the board where
You think, correct.
Emily did say that it's hard to it's hard to tell you where we're at. And she usually only gives you her revenue reports at the second meeting of the month because right now she's still balancing. If you want, I can print off the revenue reports that we had at last month's meeting, if that's helpful, but we don't have any reports that we're going over today.
So she can't touch on whether we're behind or,
She can, yeah, I just wanted the board to know that she doesn't have anything printed out for you or.
as I asked specifically, I went in and asked to get that. Just, when Sam flooded the market, when he turned on all those wells, now the gas isn't worth anything. So, I mean, it has to be affecting us.
If it would be helpful, I can print off her revenue reports from the December 16th meeting, so everyone has that in front of them.
So I would just want compared to last year, see if we're down and we're spending just as much as we did a year ago, but are we getting money in?
And I'll
If it's possible, 6 months has went by. That's what I'm getting at. But I don't know what the rest of you think, but I'd like to see some figures, what we're doing.
yeah, I'll ask her if she can have something by.
I mean, is that all right, guys?
Absolutely. That's why they're on the agenda.
Sure.
I think that number means more to us than what we've already approved for this year's budget. In my mind. We
Okay.
need to break on this.
Then we'll take a break on it and
On a budget.
come back and revisit it later.
Third quarter.
Yep.
You can see red flags, everybody's pretty aware of where they're at.
It's all good.
Do I need to come up front?
So we'll have you come in this afternoon. I think they said that 1:00 wasn't good for you, so we'll start at 1.
So we'll start.
No, I changed the time. We'll put you in. I think Jessica said you'd be back about 2:00.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we have you.
Okay, well, I do have some print offs, but only from this morning. That if you would like to look at, I'll leave them with Jessica. She can give them to you at your lunch break.
Great.
Just save me a copy.
Thank you, Emily.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, at the last meeting, I believe we had talked about whether we wanted to get together in advance of all of the collective association meetings where they're going to be discussing bills or after that meeting, actually in advance of that meeting. The overwhelming response, I think virtually everybody responded that they absolutely wanted to get together to have that discussion. So I had sent out something saying, when would you guys like to get together? I got a response of what days were not good, but I was hoping we could establish a day for that meeting so I could send out a notice to them. At the time, I thought there were maybe only 2 commissioners going, so I was really hoping to get those 2 commissioners to the meeting. Now there are 3, so I don't know how you want to handle that. Clayton, is there an issue with 3 commissioners getting together with other elected officials and departments to discuss legislative items?
As long as I'm
Okay, so. Is there a date that would work for the 3 of you, especially who are attending the WCCA meeting?
I don't know what the agenda is going to look like for the meeting of the second. Could you do it in the afternoon after that meeting?
I'm not gonna be here, but you guys can do it.
My
and
days
catch
are
up.
gone.
I'll leave that Monday the second, so February's pretty hooked up for me, but I'm gonna leave Monday the second, I won't be back till the seventh. And then, we got the WCCA the next week after that. And then I got NACO the week after that. But you guys can get together with them, Mac, after that meeting, and then
So they have.
How about sometime in July?
So what's the date of the meeting that we're referring to?
First, the third, I guess, February 3rd. Yeah, the meeting's over.
So am I understanding the board correctly? As part of the commissioners meeting, we just
oh, that, I
like schedule it on the agenda?
think it'd be a separate meeting with all of our elected officials and department heads that have concern over any of the legislation coming up. But it would be a separate meeting outside of the commissioners meeting.
So just
So
the-
Where
break
notices
from the commissioners meeting and same day. So would we say maybe we only schedule the morning of it? Does that sound okay? Okay. And then maybe at 1 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
So this is a little off subject here, but I'd like to ask Smith and the other one, maybe contact, stop in sometime. I mean, I'd like to hear from them. I mean.
As an agenda item on your,
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of their responsibility and I've heard nothing from them for a long time.
Aren't they in Cheyenne starting what day?
Well, I'm just saying,
Starting
yeah,
out.
whatever, but you know,
But-
sometime they do have some time off that I think they get what, Fridays off or something.
I wanted to remind you of the FEMA meeting on January 12th. And then, just to let you know that I have received feedback from the AI participants, from a questionnaire, and I'll gather that information and present it to you at your next meeting, so you kind of know where that program's going. And then finally, in the calendar at the bottom, there are 2 additions that I'm aware of. January 7th at 5, which
30,
is it tomorrow? Is the meeting tomorrow for the
the 7th.
Republican Central
Yes.
Committee, yeah. It's
tomorrow
at
at
5:30.
And then also on January 16th, from 8 to 10 a.m., there's a Colorado River Advisory Committee meeting. That's a virtual meeting. If anyone wanted to attend that, I have the link. Let me know and I can send that out to you. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Great.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yes.
Mhm.
See if you can, there was a request come here a second ago. Do we have any sort of health inspector in the county that?
So we have on our website the name of a person, and I can get that for you. I don't have my phone with me, but it is not something that we have an MOU on. It is a state employed person, but they do come here and we have their contact information on the website. Do you want me to get that now and announce it publicly, or get it to you for?
Either way.
So there is.
Okay. I'll come right, just do the search bar.
So how does that work? We call and request them to go somewhere, or we say, hey, we think there's a problem, we'd like you to look at it?
I think you would.
But, I mean, as a commissioner, I would be stepping on toes if I just went out personally. Guess I need to find out how it works.
Yes, so the person that we have, it's under Department Sanitarian / Health Inspector. And it is Ben Shornack, SCHORNAK. And there's an email. And then there's another one, Mitch Mumma, MUMMA. Is Consumer Health Services Inspector for the Wyoming Department of Ag. And there are contacts online, email contacts for both of
And
them.
that's on our county website.
Yes.
Thank you.
Other questions for Janess? Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know which one of those guys I talked to, yeah, I don't know which one it was.
It's still Jade. Contact.
The first one they mentioned would be the most, I would think that.
Clayton Malinkovich, please. We have board discussion of AI and procurement policies. I presume that that's inclusive of you. Yes,
I'm here to provide legal insight if I can, as you all discuss your policies.
okay. For the AI portion of it,
About what you might want, anything drafted or.
great, thank you. Does anyone have any?
You had requested that I reprint those for you, but no one else responded to my email, so I did not reprint them off, but I'd be happy to go grab them if anybody wants them.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, good. Oh,
Did Sam ask this morning, so I'm.
oh, wonderful, good.
Okay, is there discussion in regards to this?
I know, looking through them, I think the mid-range, I know we talked about a procurement policy on and off the whole time I've been on the board. Some sort, I think the mid-range one gives us a little bit of direction and a starting point to what this might evolve into. I kind of like the mid-range version. The one thing I would throw out is I'd probably jump the projects under $7,500 up to 10,000, but leave the, anything over 35 goes to a sealed bid. But yeah, I like how Clayton added in that, Road and Bridge will take care of all the rolling stock along with the maintenance and getting new stuff. So I kind of like the bid version. I would like to, so all of us can agree on it, send it out to our department heads, see what they think about it, see if there's anything that they find, and elected officials that they find real concerning in it. I think it's fair and conforms to all of the statutes that we are bound by when dealing with projects and bidding process. And I think it doesn't tie our hands that we can't use Wyoming contractors first. There's nothing in there as far as I could see, and correct me if I'm wrong, Clayton, that bounds us to have to take the lowest bid at any one point. If something else makes more monetary sense and makes more sense on who we want to pick to do it.
The contractor, the Wyoming resident contractor preferences do exist and apply in that circumstance. I think I'm remembering off the top of my head, not to review exactly, but I think there's a window. There's a.
I didn't see a percentage in there that had to be within a certain percentage, lowest bid or anything like that.
Well, I'm trying to remember what that preference looks like. I gotta pull it. But there is that preference, and we would need to be bound by that preference in certain circumstances. Or capital projects, et cetera, but.
There was someplace in here, and I read it, probably can't find it again, where it said on the bidding process, it said shall, and I wanted that changed to may. And I'm trying to find it right now. Because shall means to me, you shall, whereas may means you may, which is two entirely different.
Is that on the over 35,000?
It could be. Oh, man. I should have marked the darn thing and I just didn't.
It's on item 3, section 6. 7, I guess. Section 7. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4th page. Where it says over 35,000.
So you're talking about, is this one, this is request for qualifications and request for proposals shall be used? Is that what you're talking about, Commissioner Victory?
No, I'm thinking purchases over 35,000. That's where I think is where it says shall award the contract the lowest responsible bidder, taking into account what Sam just said. But I think shall should be turned or changed to will,
So just so I can,
or may, excuse me, to may.
well, so here's two things that I would suggest on this when we're looking through your procurement policy. Is this where you're, this is item 3. It says selection shall consider experience, prior performance, technical approach and ability to meet county needs. Or I want to make sure I'm reading the same paragraph that you are.
No, I'm on C and think in the mid.
So this is a formal sealed bid process required. Notice shall.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
And BOCC shall award contract.
Yes, and I think that should be May award, which means we don't
So I
have to.
Suggest that this sentence be just entirely. And candidly, I was wanting to kind of see where you guys were at and where you wanted to be, and then I was going to go through whichever policy that you kind of narrowed in, and then I would provide my overall feedback from that perspective. So this is one of those things that can, and this is good eyes on you, Commissioner Victory, for noticing this, because it does create a situation where you are required to take a lower bid. And it is somewhat contradictory to what is mentioned later, where you can consider those other options.
Yes, it is.
Just as I would suggest in a request for proposals, that not be in a request for proposals when we do put things out to bid anyway, because it does bind the county into that circumstance and puts the county in a tight spot. So yeah, once you guys kind of get to this, if you've narrowed down or if you choose to somewhat narrow your focus towards this mid, I would then go through with a more fine tooth comb and make recommendations to the board for potential changes to policy.
So on your vehicle procurement part, there's no mileage outage or dollar amount of repair outage. We're doing strictly by road and bridge if they decide.
This was what you guys asked them to do. So I got the list from them in terms of stuff that they don't do. And so essentially they're saying they can do all of the rest. We can certainly add clarity to that.
As far as replacement of vehicles, we're going off of what road and bridge recommends.
The way it reads right now, it gives them, they're in control and make those recommendations. Now, of course, I would anticipate you'll get pushback from the sheriff's office and other folks that utilize vehicles in the county. But ultimately, this is your policy to do with whatever you want. This is just the starting point to have those discussions.
Oh, I'm fine with you. On the mid range.
Wait, I got a question.
All right.
Statutory requirements for road construction. So Wyoming statute 24.2.110. Is that only with road construction and fund utilizing the fuel tax?
I believe that is in that is the one where we're using the fuel road fund.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll go through, I'm gonna go
Okay.
through on a fine tooth comb to make sure that we're all up to speed, make sure that the AI is not lying to us or creating problems. I just have not yet vested that time because I want to do that just on one where you guys narrow.
I'd like to hear your weigh in and thoughts on the capital construction projects too, because I didn't know we were bound by any statute on capital still.
We are, but there's thresholds. I can't remember what the threshold is off the top of my head. So just doing a concrete job is not quote unquote a capital construction project. And that does have definitions and I would incorporate those things in.
Perfect.
I'd say the more I use AI, the more it lies to me, so. I would definitely double check it.
We'll double and we'll triple and we'll go from there.
Yeah, there's a lot of lying coming out with AI.
How much was the overall project that we had an issue with on the hockey rink? Where it blew over?
You're looking at me?
Oh, the one in Big Piney?
Yes.
The wind walls?
Yeah. Yeah.
64,000 they gave them, right?
I don't think it was that much, was it?
It's what you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino, an elephino.
These are the things that, when it comes to a bond at $35,000, there are some things that you put out that have value that should be bonded, right? So just because it's $20,000, do we want to eliminate the possibility? Not mandatory bonding, but possibility of bonding. I don't know. Or do we just want to make it so we're self-insured on that and take the risk associated with? We could do that also.
Yeah, I think we gotta look at it at two different things, right? There's the Florida County Commissioners representing Sublette County using taxpayer money to do a project. Then there's sub boards under us, i.e. the rec board that we allow to give money to nonprofits for an organization. So there's almost like 3 steps in between us. We need to definitely clean up that other step, which we found out on this, on how we instruct our boards to be able to represent us when they're using taxpayer money.
Correct.
For projects, which we can put that in bonding, but I think we could incorporate that into here, into a procurement policy. Or would that be more of how a board operates and how a board funds different certain projects? I don't know, and I'm just throwing that out for conversation.
Correct. It should certainly be identified within the contract that's extended to the contractor as far as and maybe that's where it's addressed, is it within the contract itself?
You could also just require your board to follow your procurement policy. So for discussion's sake, generally when grants come down through the federal pipeline into the state, you end up in a circumstance where if something's been bid out to a contractor or will be bid out to a contractor, that the person acting as that go-between has to follow the state's overall bidding process, the way that the state of Wyoming has it set up. And therefore, like one of the contingencies about receiving the money is that they have to follow that project. So that process. So you can essentially just make it a policy that any projects that are built with rec board money, that they must comply with your procurement policy, and then you expanded that umbrella.
So that state training that everybody's mandated to take, they should touch on things like this. There should be something at the state level.
You know how much I love that word should.
Well, everybody's going through on how to spend the money wisely. That should be a number one thing they touch on.
Probably
is contractor call.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know where you send that to. Hey,
So I'll just put it in my pocket.
Okay.
Any other thoughts?
Well, the only thing, and it's not a big deal, but we just went through this with our question. So what's wrote up here, it's just like what we had, I wish it said those that don't get here in 90 days, then they're not gonna get paid, because here it goes, invoices older than 1 year shall not be paid unless legally required and approved. So, there's no limitation on that at all. I mean, then they come to us. I wish it was more direct, but that's the only thing I saw, but I don't know. I'm just one.
You make the policy.
That should be in there. 90 days isn't money. Because where we can change it, there's nothing there that says we won't, see? And probably won't happen again. I don't know. But that and there, I had to run the guy down twice and couldn't get a very good explanation. And I finally found him, and we're here at the number that 23, you go over to library. And so I didn't think they showed very much responsibility showing up here to explain it. Still didn't do a very good job. That's just the only thing I've seen. I'm sure, but you're an attorney, so.
Well, and this would require just making sure that we provide necessary notice to vendors so they understand that they have a timeline.
I mean, how do you feel about it?
How do I feel about it? I think it's great to have that timeline, because the reality is that you as the essentially you have a fiscal responsibility to the county. You're in charge of the county's coffers. I think it makes perfect sense to create a situation where you're not ending up outside of a budgetary timeline paying something that's outside that budget. It's a problem from the accounting perspective, fiscal responsibility perspective, everything. So yeah, a deadline on that makes perfect sense.
So Clayton, do you have an example of what something would be legally binding after 1 year of outstanding?
I think then the issue, and this is what I'm saying, is you just have to provide your necessary notice. So that, and even at the end of the day, there is still the potential right now, even without this policy in place, that we can not pay outside of a budget perspective. It is necessary to provide that notice, because that's going to help us in any litigation. Our contracts right now, for example, already generally provide opt-out for payment provisions, wherein in the event that dollars are going out, and this happens when we're taking money from the state as well. There's often a clause in those contracts that essentially say, hey, in the event that dollars are not available, we don't have. And that ends up being part of what we're talking about for outside of budget. So there are fail safes that currently exist that can help us from a really old invoice or voucher that's coming in. The reality is that if we have a procurement policy that addresses it and we're providing notice to those vendors, hey, here's your deadlines, we are in a much better position.
No, and so on this whole thing, I'd like it to be a little more clarified, maybe like adding in anything 90 days after service is rendered, rather than an invoice date that could be written up 90 days after that service was rendered, and give them another 90 days type out. I would like it to say some sort of services rendered or something into that effect, rather than invoices older than 90 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if we want to go 180 days after service is rendered, which gives them 30 days to get their accounting done for the next month, get their billing done, billing out. But still keeps us within that 1 year fiscal timeline type budgetary requirement, right?
Yeah, I'm just making some notes here while talking, so I'll work on some of those things. Is a 90-day, 180-day, what's the consensus? It sounded like 1 year was too long. What do you guys want to do? I can't remember what you decided when it came in with that other.
I think in industry, 180 days from services rendered is pretty standard. Which just gives big companies time to go through all their accounting and get the invoices wrote.
Well, I can tell you about me. My accountant's not gonna let that happen. You know, so 180 days. I need the money. I'm gonna see that it gets there. In that case, 180 days sounds like a lot, but if that's.
And maybe we change that invoices, instead of older than 1 year, we change that to the 180 days.
I'd be for shortening it even more, 120.
Well, I don't know. We've only had the one issue in all the time I've been here. So, but maybe tomorrow there's two issues. You just don't know that. So
Well, it could have been,
how much?
we wouldn't know about it.
Well,
Because this one was so over and lost, so there could have been times when they went over, but it wasn't brought forward. And I just know you can tell us they're not.
Regardless, you're doing an edit on the draft and it comes back and we can sit down and discuss it more at that point in time and see if we want to make further adjustments. We're not going to solve everything today on it, I don't think.
And I'll look at some of the potential legal issues that come with it,
I'm good.
because there are estoppel claims that can still be created in those situations. So it'll take some finessing to make sure that we have that worded right. And it's definitely a double-edged sword, because the reality is you do have vendors in this community that provide a service, and you want to ensure that those vendors still exist. If in the way that vendors exist in a community to provide services for a community is they get paid for their work, sometimes people just forget to invoice things.
So I got a question. It kind of pertains, it's probably not. So, but for example, when we have a contract with a company like Teletractors presently to work on the culvert over there, Big Piney, but we paid the $117,000 for it already, and it's gonna be months before the work's done. Is that still part of our responsibility that we have a contract that no work's been done, or it won't be close that we have to pay for part of it?
I would want to review the contract and see, but generally, if we are contracted for something, then yes, we are committed.
Surely materials on hand is addressed in that contract. I mean, if they've got it in hand.
Or like,
They
they delivered it over there, didn't they?
I think, I haven't been up there, but it sounded like that's the way you might.
I was just curious, because, then. I don't know. Well, just curious. That's what it was, yeah.
Well, and there's a variety, so contracts with public entities, especially the county commissioners, have a variety of potential issues that arise. So when they have to be paid out, when they don't, so on and so forth. So it's certainly something to discuss.
Well, take case in point up there on that road. Contractor gets paid, but yet Sublette County has to go back in and expend funds to bring it up to where it should have been to begin with. So who foots the bill? The county does, but they've already paid for the complete project. So how do you get around a situation like that? Do you hold a contingency fee until it meets a certain amount of time or use and say until that occurs, we're going to withhold whatever that percent might be. So if there's an issue down the road, like there has been, then we've withheld that money to take care of what is required to bring it back up to where it's supposed to be.
I would need to review the contract to see what provisions are currently included in it.
And then that contract has a warranty in it, but hell, if the company goes broke or the county has no protection, that warranty's probably worth about what the ink on the paper is.
Awesome.
Considered around the roof. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the warranty's fine, but what if, from it sounded to me like, from the discussion today, they've taken care of the issue.
Well, they've taken it out. That company has to come back and put it in the spring.
Yeah, but who's going to watch it this time?
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't have to do this.
Again, I'd have to review the contract, see what it says, and I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar. I know you guys were having that discussion up here, but candidly, unless you guys are asking me a question, I'm usually doing other work.
You've been so good at having answers for us. You jump up back there and you got,
Well, because I'm trying to listen out of one ear and do work out of the other, but sometimes it just, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that conversation this morning.
So.
But it's something I can look into if you guys want me to.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an issue.
You-
The company doesn't show back up this spring.
Then we can address it.
And how
thinking if
much was the project?
it's gonna be,
500 and some thousand we give them for them cat guards.
There's a deputy in my office that I think would be perfect for this type of job.
So on something like that, the project should be bonded. When it goes out for bid and we award it, part of that award system is that they provide us with a payment and performance bond. And it doesn't matter if they go out of business at that point in time, because then it's the bonding company that pays on that.
maybe they don't bond on this job, I don't know.
Correct, but then someone started talking about a roof, and so you have a whole category of different items that we're talking about. And you're correct, how do we protect the county is coming up with the contract between us and the vendor, contractor. And the only way that you're going to be truly assured of receiving your money is by having a project bonded.
Right.
Because it's not like it used to be, Doug, and how you want, where it's handshake and it'll be done. Doesn't happen like that. Although the vast,
Then we run into the issue that the big companies can bond these things, and then pretty quick you've got no local contractors being able to do anything.
that's not true. Anyone can bond. They just have to provide the information to be bondable.
I know a couple that can't bond to me.
Well, and there's a reason why they can't bond is because that's correct.
This county,
And so the system is based on hiring state with a 5% bidder preference. But at the same time, if it's government money or county money, you can't just say, well, here, Janess, we sure like you. We'd like you to go out and do this job. And she doesn't pay, then shame on us for doing that. We have to have assurance from them, once we've expended the money, that the project's going to be still standing at the end of it and something that we receive the value for the money that we paid.
Yeah, so for example, there are bond requirements in our contracts for fire trucks. I think we have a tender and I think we have a tender right now that's under construction. There's a bond in that contract. There's a bond provision that in the event that company goes belly up, we can enforce on the bond to get the truck to be. Like I said, I would have to review this existing contract. I don't know what the bonding requirements are in it right now.
so how much will it drive prices up, do you think, if you bond a $20,000 job?
Not much at
Sure,
all.
that isn't on the bid though, that they got on, and part of that list on their. But what bothers me, it's like, now how many guys did we send over to fix that cattle guard? And did we pay them completely off for those cattle guards? Yeah, I think we sent the final payment before it failed this last time. Yeah, because Billy said he talked to them, but now we probably won't get anything. So we supposed to come back and. That's what I'm saying, but he went over there and went to such trouble to fix it. You know,
But that was our option.
he just eliminated the hazard, waiting on them to come back in the spring.
Correct.
But what I'm saying, he sent, we probably won't get. Should they pay us for what we've done so far, you know, and then if he's got it fixed that good, they're not gonna do nothing. He's gonna put that culvert in there. I expect them to not do anything. So I'm just saying, you know, we shouldn't have paid for that deal until it was complete. We knew it before it was paid. So. I don't know, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I brought up all this discussion.
You're right.
Well, I hope you'll didn't get too bored listening to it.
Take care of that chair, Doctor.
Takes a very good care of it. I like it.
So we,
Over a year now.
so we just go ahead and prepare it, and it gives us time to think about how we want to address these issues, and then we talk about it some more at that point in time. And put it together.
If the consensus is that mid-range one, that gives me information, I can work through it.
I'm good with it. You good with it, Dave?
And make some recommendations on contract stuff.
Mid-range. Yeah, you good with it? You good with it? Great.
Okay.
Well, and then you guys can all go home and do your homework as well, go through it with the fine tooth comb, decide what things you like and don't like, and
Correct.
when you come back to your discussion, you have a more fruitful discussion at that point.
Excellent. The next that I have up is, you sent an email back, end of December pertaining to a planning and zoning training for new members with the, Teton County Attorney's Office and Keith Gagry.
Yeah, so Keith Gingrey has offered to come down and give a board training. Whenever we can get it scheduled. I need to just follow up with that group and see when, if you all want to participate in it or not. He's been doing these board trainings for a while. They're similar in nature to the one that Commissioner Bennett went through the day on the fiscal procedures. It goes through kind of just core of board governance and just some of those things. He does a good job of it.
Okay, so you'll go ahead and set up with what the Planning and Zoning Commission can do, and if Board of Commissioners wants to attend, they can attend, or do you need to set a schedule subject to their convenience?
I'll work with them. I just was looping you guys in to see if you all wanted to participate. You know,
Great,
So,
thank you.
so there is, and I don't know whether this is part of this discussion or not, but I'm thinking about it, so I'm gonna say it. So Mr. Stevens and I happened to sit in on right here at this table, the helicopter contracts when they were open for the search and rescue. It was a pretty interesting thing to sit here and watch, have them discuss, et cetera, and et cetera. So I'm wondering why on all of the bids that we have and the bid openings that happen, not here, somewhere else, why we couldn't have those here, the bid openings, so that we're involved in that aspect of it. So that we can sit right there when they flop the envelope open or however it comes in, says, wow, that's interesting, explain this or explain that, or don't do it at all, just sit and be quiet. But I think it's part of maybe what, in my mind at least, we've been missing until I sat in on with Mr. Stevens, that helicopter opening, because there were some interesting discussions about the different aspects of just that portion of it. So I'm wondering if it wouldn't be value to this board to sit in on those, because we have quite a few of them, significant numbers at times, and comparing, apples to apples, sometimes apples to oranges, sometimes there's a little bit of disparity, sometimes it's huge. It'd be good to know how come sometimes.
so yeah, up to this point, without a procurement policy in place, departments are essentially just operating under what they would like to do and feel as best practices. Generally, a request for proposals comes across my desk and I discuss a few things with the department head before it goes out. So in the circumstance with the helicopter one, they had a process we had gone through before, what they were comfortable with and they wanted to do. And without a policy, your departments are essentially without guidance. So
okay.
And I think it is pertinent to this discussion. And I just made a note here, that can be part of your procurement policy.
Well, I'm not, I'm not trying to, get into an argumentative mood, but policy or not, what's wrong with these $1 million projects when they're bid to come before and say, okay, we've got 4 different people that have, or companies that have submitted bids. We're going to open them right here, procurement policy or not. What's wrong with that?
There is nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's why we don't have consistency in how bids are operating because there is no policy. And I'm not arguing with you on this point. I think it makes perfect sense to have that policy in place so there is uniformity across the board in those circumstances.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but we're sitting here, or the commission in the future, sitting here spending millions over the course of time on bids that we don't even see that's open. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just saying, I think it would be good business to when they open them up and say, here's this one, and this one. What do you guys think? And we can have that discussion and away we go. Probably gonna not make a bit of difference on who the ultimate bidder is that won the contract. But still, when you leave out of here, you say, wow, that was an interesting discussion because so-and-so was $10 higher than this guy over here, but the $10 guy offered a little bit more or not as much.
Yeah, you guys are the boss. This is why you sit at the table, to instruct departments on what to do. So you can instruct your departments at any point in time to say, if you're doing a bid over X amount of dollars, and if they have to be open at a commissioner's meeting, you can do that.
Well, I just think it's good business myself, but that's just me. For other folks, right?
It's for you. Right? Those word of mouth.
In our policy, our mid range is 35,000 right now. It says it
Has to go out to bid.
Yep.
We
has to go out to sealed envelope bid for the statute, right?
certainly, that's.
And we can add in that it has to be open at a meeting and commissioner have to be there. I mean, right now, Clayton's right. We authorize our department heads. They come to us with a budget and they say, hey, I want to do this project. They give us an estimate. It's going to be $1 million. We say, okay, go bid it out. And, we're authorizing you to spend up to $1 million on that project. This policy would now add another layer in there where it say, okay, you have to bid it out under this certain procedure in this certain way. And we can add a line in there and say that those sealed bids have to be opened in a board meeting or however we want.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Great. Okay, any further discussion on it? Okay, next, a subject near and dear to our heart. From an email dated in mid-December from Jessica. Pertaining to, this is her first election coming up and she'd like enough time to prepare in regards to the additional 1% tax. And it couples into Clayton's letter stating that the county does have to give approval at the same time as the counties, or same time as the towns, excuse me, or we have a petition.
Yeah, and I want to take this opportunity to apologize that I gave you guys bad information when that conversation came up before. I was thinking back on the statute and I was misremembering it, so that is my fault. So yes, so it's the county and at least 50% of your municipalities weigh in, and then it can go on the ballot, or it can be petition driven. So the timeline of making that decision, the election has to be on a date pursuant to the Special District Election Act, which is May or November. But it does not require the same 110-day timeline. It just requires 30 days notice published in the newspaper prior to the election. So you've got some time to host that discussion and have it and make a decision on that. I believe it is my understanding that the towns that both Marbleton and Marbleton and Pinedale have both had resolutions voted upon, and there's specific language in those resolutions, and I need to follow up with the town of Big Piney to see where they're at on voting on a written resolution. I believe at this point you have more than 50% of the municipalities in the county have already voted in favor of having that go on the ballot.
Good. So with that being said, do we want to schedule that for one of the next upcoming meetings for discussion and vote on?
Well,
and this is just a date issue, not yes or no today, because
when this issue first came about, this commission said, well, let the municipalities do it, because we were under the impression then that the municipalities could do it. Since then, obviously, that has changed. As far as I'm concerned, go get a petition. The folks that want the 1 cent, which I'm not one of them personally, the folks that want the 1 cent tax added on to whatever the folks in Shine are going to do to us, need to go get the petition. The only request requires, I think, was it 200 signatures? Is that 5% of the last 5% of the last general election, folks? Is that not right? 5%. So if there's 4,000, that'd be 200. Somewhere's in that vicinity. Shouldn't be a big deal for them if they wanted to get it.
okay. So
That's my take on it.
should we put this up for an agenda item at the next meeting or 2 meetings from now? And we'll put this to bed.
Well, sometimes the present's better than the future.
Okay? That works also.
You have an empty room.
That's the best time to vote, isn't it?
Just pointing out, if you do, like, and I'm not telling you what to do by any stretch of the imagination. Just suggesting that if you want the input, okay, you may want to put it on notice that they know that you're in this conversation. Just let you know, and you also have 3 municipalities that may want to weigh in on this conversation as well.
Well, they've already weighed in. You know, and fair enough, that's their prerogative.
But they still have constituents. Although the towns have said, yes, we wanted the constituents involved, we are still responsible to them and are obligated to hear what their thoughts are.
And again, it's just the discussion of whether or not to put it on the ballot for them to make the ultimate decision. So just, there's 2 steps in that process. But
Well, I'm still a little bothered by what the mayor said at the first, you know, did he say the commissioners had okayed it? It's in the paper.
no, he said that they needed to weigh in, and that was our part of our conversation where I will gladly admit putting my foot in my mouth, and I've already called Mayor Murdoch and told him he was right.
But there was something in the paper that was,
Yeah, it was the issue of whether or not the commissioners needed to weigh in. And he had said that you did, and I disagreed publicly, and I was wrong, and I'll acknowledge that. As much as I hate
to, yeah.
you know, gotta do what you gotta do. I'm just, the only thing I would suggest is I remember all of you, but a group of you at this table decided to purchase a piece of property whereon to build a gravel pit. Didn't discuss it with your constituents, and they lit you up the next meeting. That was sitting on a piece of property. Just pointing out you may want to give them the opportunity to come and talk to you about this type of, just a suggestion.
Well, they got the opportunity, don't come, that's their fault, right?
Correct. So is the next meeting okay for something like that?
It's fine. I'll say you put your foot in my mouth too. I went to the Marbleton meeting where they.
How did it taste?
Not worth the.
Thank you. You got,
I'm a big one. They want to be.
Well, I went and they said, well, the commission has to weigh in on this. I said, oh, no. If 2/3 of the towns pass, we don't have to weigh in on it.
I'm sorry.
So,
okay, Commissioner Vickery, will that work for you okay?
Pardon?
Will that work for you okay?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yes, you do.
You know, if you step back in time and look at this, what this 1 cent could do, well, I'd say what it could do, not what it could do. So we've got people out there who are on fixed income. Maybe they have saved for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know how long. Say, boy, this is going to be a year we'd be able to buy a new vehicle. So we're going to stick another 1 cent on them. On a $50,000, $60,000 doesn't sound like much, but it's still another 1 cent on top of the other 4 cents. And if the state gets the bee in their bonnet and put another 2 cents, which I'm thinking they're probably going to do, now all of a sudden you've got 7 cents on top of that. So you've got, and I'm not going to belabor the point. Well, I will a little. So you've got service companies in Sublette County that have people that work for them. And so as I see this as a kind of an avalanche effect, some of these folks have come into Sublette County and set up their businesses. Why? Because of the lower tax base that we have. And they've been operating like that. Now, a penny doesn't sound like a lot, but it takes, and I'm not, let's say big companies, for instance, a penny might cost them another 3 or 4 or 500,000 a year. they're gonna figure out a way to cut that. How are they gonna do that? They're gonna look at a service company over here, or maybe two or three that are, yeah, we're gonna keep them employed until it looks like this comes along. And now we really don't need them. We can put two or three together. We're gonna tell this guy that's got 3 people working for him, say, you know, this looks like we're not gonna be able to afford all this stuff. We're gonna have to let some of these service companies go. That includes the 2 or 3 folks that are working for them that have families at home. Now they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do. I mean, this thing has a snowball effect. And part of what's unique about this county is we don't have to follow what the other counties are doing. We don't have to add another 1 or 2 or 3 or 6 or whatever pennies, because we don't have to. So why would we want to? There's an issue out there, I know, with a certain element that says, oh, we gotta have it, gotta have it. Well, if they gotta have it, let them pay for it. I don't want to. The 4 cents is enough. And I don't want to be part of this commission that says, oh yeah, come on, folks, we're gonna say, okay. Without, if you want it, you go work for it. And you put a ballot, you go get a ballot initiative put together. If you get that done, and if the commission has to support that phase of it, I would support that, because people have went and worked for it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna vote for it, because I won't when it comes along. But as one of the commissioners, if we have to say, oh yeah, we're in favor of it, it'll have to be, my vote's gonna be negative, pure and simple. I'm not gonna vote for it as a commissioner.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So,
So would you like to have a meeting where we,
yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
that's all I'm asking.
yeah, no, I know that, but I'm just telling you,
And Doug, I understand, but it's democracy. It's not just your opinion that matters, and it's not just Janessa's opinion that matters. We have to take all of the information we can and put it in front of our constituents. And it's up to them to tell us. Now, how I hear it versus how you hear it could be 2 different ways.
that's correct.
The only thing that I'm trying to resolve today is, can we put the damn thing on next agenda?
I'm good. Absolutely. But I got another question for you, my mind one.
Probably ought to move this meeting over to the Levitt room.
Restrictions. You can campaign, you can't campaign. Who can do that for something like this?
Just keep in mind, government entities are prohibited from campaigning. Government entities can educate, but they cannot campaign. So think about that as the entity. Doesn't mean that Dave Stevens can't go out and share his opinion and tell people you should or should not do something. Because Dave Stevens is a big boy. He maintains all the same rights and everything else that Dave Stevens has as any other citizen to do what they want to do. This group as a group can't get together and say, we are going to spend taxpayer dollars to put out a radio ad that says, go out and vote on May 5th for the 5th penny or against the 5th penny, because that would be violation of law. But you can go out and tell whoever you want, whatever you want.
So is it any government entity like Town of Pinedale? They can't.
They can educate,
but they can't put an ad in the paper.
right? But they can put an ad in the paper for an educational purpose. But they cannot say, go and do this. They cannot spend dollars in favor of one outcome or the other, the tax. So as long as they're using factual information for education purposes, it is okay. The same way the county could do the same thing.
I understand that. But I'm saying sometimes a yes is a no vote.
Sure.
Yeah.
It
that's-
just depends on how you word it.
Exactly.
That's why the wording in the statute requires.
That's
very
what people
specific-
need to educate on, is because sometimes they are not voting as they think they're voting.
Well, and that's, so the language on the ballot is very, very specific. It says for the 5th penny tax, against the 5th penny. So, but yeah, that's your distinction between campaigning and education. The same way that you all could get together and you could try and educate legislators, but you can't spend county money to lobby for something. But you can educate until you're blue in the face.
Or I could say,
And you probably would.
I could put an ad in the newspaper saying, vote for this.
Lynn Bernard could.
Absolutely right. So could you, or I could say, don't vote for this. But as a collective body, we can't.
Correct. You,
Okay, so,
all of your free speech rights that you.
correct. So coming,
We put that in the paper, do not vote for it, people would sure question it.
If you went up there and said, I, Dave Stevens, as a commissioner,
Yeah.
am
but
telling you not
either
to
way,
do this.
if we put our name on it, that we don't for or against,
well,
you're gonna take.
Let people know, hey, we're having this discussion. Show up, fill the seats, so we know where you're coming from. Yeah, something like that.
correct. We can then say, do you want a petition? Do you want the county to decide? I think that's basically where we're at, and then we vote accordingly, right? We have those two options. Because if we don't say add it, the only other way that it can be added is by a petition. And the individuals within the county have to gather the resources and manpower to get the petitions out and get them to Jessica so she can count however many and make sure they're all valid, signed, and so, and then we can get this behind us.
Town specifically, that that's on the agenda.
We have a public notice going out in the newspaper, don't we? Please.
Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Lunch.
Oh, it's not over, Doug, trust me. We received a letter, and I'm not quite sure what, if any, steps we need to take, or if this is just informational, Clayton. It says County Attorney State Funding Deficit, sent on January 5th.
Which one is this? Oh, yeah, I sent you guys an email on this as well. Just,
Sure, you both did.
yeah, I have not seen the legislation. I tried to find it, what they're doing, but currently right now,
There's nothing to do.
well, when this becomes, during the legislative session, when they get to this point, and this is the. Yeah, so it's a discussion to modify that, and I just wanted to put it on your guys' radar, because the reality is right now, the state reimburses my salary up to
50%.
50% up to 50,000. And then the same with deputies up to 50, so 50% up to 30,000. And the legislature is considering, or they may consider this bill to increase that reimbursement amount, which
To
would,
80%.
what's that?
To 80%.
Yeah, so it wouldn't change the salary, but it would change the amount that the counties are paying for that. So right now, for example, my salary is 110. The state pays 50 of it, you all pay 60. So I cost the Sublette County less than a lot of county employees. And so this would even make me cheaper. So hell, you may as well support it.
And you love it.
Exactly.
What's that?
You love it.
Why would I not want to be here? I love it. So yeah, so that
Great.
legislation's coming up, but I'm gonna try and track it. The County Attorneys Association is keeping track of it, and the more, when the time comes to call your legislators and educate them about how that type of a change in legislation would affect the fiscal position of the county, then I will let you all know, and you can all choose to call and educate or not call and educate.
Okay, thank you. So that'll rest until it comes forward again. The next item. Commissioner White raised a valid point 3 meetings ago at least, pertaining to who are we truly responsible of paying or funding, and what are the organizations or entities that we are not responsible or obligated to send money to. And I believe it,
Is this a discussion you want to have in open
I'm,
session?
I'm just about there. Great, thank you. And all I'm trying to do is say, do we want to schedule this in 2 weeks from now or in 4 weeks from now? And then have the discussion in executive session.
Say 4 weeks from now,
We'll be gone.
6
Okay.
weeks from now,
It's July.
just before our budget session starts and it's fresh on our mind.
Okay, are you here in 2 weeks?
Talked about that already.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. So please, let's schedule this. Let's schedule this for an executive session in 2 weeks. Is that good?
Yep, I will be prepared and go through everything again.
Okay.
To
Great.
refresh my memory.
Here, I can give you mine. Give you mine and you can read it.
Yeah, we won't need to eat your last food.
Okay,
There's plenty to go.
okay, so now, we can break for lunch, or the chair will entertain a motion to move into executive session.
What are we executing?
Um, I'm looking for that,
Oh, were you looking for the provision? So
yeah,
if this would be the 16.4.405 A Romanet 9 to consider information otherwise confidential.
16 dash,
405 A Romanet 9, which is IX. Otherwise confidential by law, and Romanet 3. No, just 9.
okay. Great,
Then are you gonna launch an executive session?
is that acceptable?
Of course. You just can't talk about the launch.
Even if it's bad.
Is that in the minutes? Yes, if they're called Clayton, you know.
I'd make a motion, we go into executive session 16.4.405 A Roman numeral 9. Sure what you said. Otherwise confidential.
Well,
By law.
Have a motion by Commissioner Bradley to move into executive session. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we'll move into executive session.
Second thought, I'm here.
So moved.
Second.
Move back into regular session. After exiting the executive session, no actions were taken during that meeting. Up next on this is planning and zoning, I believe. Holly's the designated speaker.
Joint effort today.
Yes.
All right, well, good afternoon, commissioners. Commissioner White did advise to try to stick to 5 minutes, so we're gonna try to do that, okay? So,
Or less.
or
Or
less,
less,
okay,
yes.
perfect. Get that timer out. So we just wanted to give you an update about the wireless telecommunications facility regulation drafting and where we stand with that draft. And when this is our current timeline with planning and zoning and how the drafting's going. So as of right now, this regulation, we've been working on this since, gosh, early October. And we, on this, in your agenda packet is a proposed timeline. So at the next P and Z meeting on January 15th, we will be doing further discussion and hopefully wrapping up a lot of the edits of that meeting. And then Thursday, February 19th, this is when a final review and recommendation to you will be made at the planning and zoning meeting. And that will take place on February 19th. We already have that advertised in the newspaper. It has to be advertised at least 30 days before planning and zoning, and I believe 45 days before it is presented to the county commissioners. So that's where we already had to start the advertising period here pretty soon because of that 45-day notice. And Tuesday, March 3rd, that it's proposed to then be presented to you for hopefully adoption, or, you know, we can talk about it, go over questions. The public involvement, we have, since this started, it's been advertised in the Pinedale Roundup multiple times. We also have been putting this on the planning and zoning page. We have a new page that's current events on the planning and zoning page. So anything that's coming to planning and zoning, we are trying to, in our office, put that on the planning and zoning website earlier than the agenda, just so people know what's coming. Because typically we don't advertise an agenda until the week before the meeting. But if there are things that we know are going to be up and coming, we are trying to just keep the public informed. And right now we have the draft regulations on that current events page. So you don't necessarily have to be always referring to agenda items and minutes. You can actually just go straight to that page. We are working on finalizing the zone district limitations in the lot sizes. So where exactly will these different facilities be permitted? The different tower facilities. So just a brief outline of the current draft regulations. Section 1 is definitions that are related to wireless facilities. Section 2 is general purpose of the regulations. Section 3 are the development requirements and standards. So this is anytime someone wants to do a new facility, these are the requirements. And we talk about like general concealment and engineering and safety, lighting, right of way, co-location hierarchy. Section 4 is permit requirements by facility type. So we start with exempt facilities in the beginning, and then it continues as the facility grows in size, the requirements, then we somewhat expand on the requirements for a permit application based off of the size of the facility. So we have exempt facilities, we have eligible facility requests, these are much smaller facilities that do not require planning and zoning and commissioner review or approval. They'll just be administrative. Then we have small wireless facilities, which may be an administrative approval depending on the size, if it's the size of the facility, and it will trigger a conditional use permit if it does exceed the height requirement in that zone district. After that are macro towers, and those will always require a conditional use permit. And then wireless facility adjustment. We are proposing a wireless facility adjustment that is a mechanism intended to function like a variance, but it's more specific to wireless facilities. So rather than going through the variance process, it's this other process, but it's similar to a variance. So anything that exceeds the zone district height limits will have to go through a wireless facility adjustment. And it also talks about the shot clocks and timelines. So we are required to maintain shot clocks and timelines based off of the federal requirements. And then section 5 is long-term compliance, maintenance, and abandonment. And section 6 is just miscellaneous provisions and references to other regulations and compliance with federal and state laws. So that's where we stand with everything. And we are happy to, we just wanted to share the process with you and see if you had any feedback and just be prepared for what's going to be coming your way soon.
Great. Look forward to it. Sounds like you've done a pretty thorough job. Thank you for taking that on and doing it. What a headache. Yes.
Right, and then next, what we wanted to share with you at our last planning and zoning meeting, the Wyoming Planners Association came and did a training. So we had 2 planners that came. One works for a private company in Cheyenne, Melissa Ruth, and is a senior planner for the town of Jackson. And he came down here and they presented a training for the Planning and Zoning Commission and shared with us a little bit about the purpose of WyoPass and what it means to be a member. I think this is it's just a really good opportunity to be involved and learn about planning issues and zoning issues going on in the state. There are other planning commissioner members, planning staff, consultants, laymen who are interested in development, and also Board of County Commissioners who are members of this organization. And they have an annual spring conference. It's a free training for anyone who's a member in the spring for like board members and commissioners. And it's a 2-day training. And then they have an annual fall conference as well. That's more kind of general planning for the fall conference. Andrew, he presented more about what it means to be a planning commission and best practices for planning and zoning commissioners. And he reviewed some of the relevant state statutes, ethics, and just importance of the comprehensive plan and some ideas for the regulation drafting and answered questions. I personally felt like this was a really good training for everyone, but it also, I really got a lot out of it as well. And I think it would be amazing if you guys would take the time, if you had availability, just to listen in on the recording from that meeting. I think that there was a lot of great discussion in that meeting. I'm happy to send you the link to that just so, and you could take a look at it as well.
Please do.
And did you want to share anything too?
Well, you're doing great.
What? You gotta think, how many minutes do we have? Like 5 -3. Okay, so the WyoPass membership, this is an annual membership, and there's a group membership that's for county commissioners and also for the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I just wanted to share this with you. I think a lot of the P&Z Commission is interested in becoming members, but we just wanted to see what your thoughts were also of becoming members if you were interested in learning more. And the spring training is in Riverton, and that's on May 14th and 15th. And but just start with this, just introduce you to the organization, see if you had any questions about it. It's $250
Per person?
for the entire planning and zoning and county commissioners. For a year, it's $250. And for staff, it's like an additional $50 a year per staff member.
Was we a member of it in the past?
The staff was, but I am not 100% if the commission was.
I mean, to my knowledge, we haven't been members, at least since I've been on the board. And I don't think Chris said that they had been either, but I know that
staff was before. Tess and Dennis were members of it. So, I mean, I would agree that I think it would be something that would be beneficial. I did learn a lot from that training. They've got a lot of really good resources, especially as we look forward to just how things are developing, changing over time. Gives us a lot of good resources to reach out to other counties, their planning administrations and stuff like that. I think there could be some definite benefits to it.
Thank you.
That's all.
Appreciate it. Good job.
So Dennis was a member of it, or that membership carry over to you, or?
It does not. I
Yes,
asked if it would carry over and they said we have to re-register, so. Any other questions? All right.
We're good.
Yeah,
Thank you so
I've
much.
got one.
Great,
So,
thank you.
Mr. Chairman. So back here on section 5, long-term compliance, maintenance and abandon, says 2 years cessation, I guess how you pronounce that, plus notice and removal deadline. So what happens if they don't?
So there are some, let me go to this section. There are some clauses in here about what the steps are. If it is assumed to be abandoned, the county will then reach out to them and they have to provide evidence that it is not abandoned. Or there's also FCC documents that FCC keeps track of a lot of the towers and what's functional on the towers. So some of this, it might just end up getting reports from FCC to make sure it is not abandoned, but really, we do have multiple clauses in here and timelines to make sure, to give them time to maintain their compliance.
Okay, let me ask the question a little bit differently then. So let's say I've got a tower up. I'm done with it, but it's gonna create a big issue if I gotta go back in there and take care of the road it got to it. I gotta tear the thing down. I say, the heck with it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just leaving. What happens then?
Yes, we actually did talk about this and there is a requirement for bonding to remove the tower. So long-term bonding in case the tower does need to be removed and that there needs to be a cost estimate provided
Okay.
To remove the tower.
So the bonding will go with every tower application, every new tower.
And it's really just if they are individual tower structure and the macro towers. But if it's a smaller structure that's attached to a building.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I'm more, I guess, wondering about the big ones that we see. You know, over time, maybe those cell towers won't have any, it'll all come from upper space, so to speak. And if that happens, there are going to be a lot of them around the world, so to speak, that may have no function at all. And that's what I was wondering about, because some of those things are going to require a lot to remove based on how they got there and the structures themselves. So that's what I was curious to know about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Now I know.
On that, I think that brings up a great point though. Like, obviously, we're writing this from scratch where this wasn't a regulation that we had any basis to go off of. And so, I guess I'm not really sure if it's protocol, but if you have the opportunity to read through and give us any suggestions, I think it would cut out a lot of time if along the way, because like I said, this is something that we've had to come up with. We've obviously had some great resources. We've pulled from other people's regulations and stuff, but it is something that was completely new and foreign to us too. So if you guys have any suggestions or any questions, that we would
Thank you.
definitely appreciate that.
Well, I don't know. I've read through this and I think you guys done a Class A job putting this together at this point anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Haley.
Any further conversation?
I guess I got one. As far as the YO pass, or you want a decision on that? Is it in your budget? You want decision move forward to membership today?
We can we have enough in our budget to make it work. I think it would be a very beneficial thing for especially the Planning and Zoning Commission to be part of it. And we have enough in our training budget, and I thought this could even come out of the Planning and Zoning training budget for the time being. Maybe down the road, we can find another place, but for now, I thought.
I support them doing that. Mission and.
Agree.
Thank you. Like I said,
Thanks.
I really think it will be beneficial, and everyone on the board was definitely optimistic and was
Good.
interested in getting involved with that.
Good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did Shanna kind of swift swap? Should we swap her back so that she can go before?
Yes.
You want to leave us? Come on.
So today I just have a few things. Becky Pro, our prevention coordinator, is we're interested in applying for a drug-free communities grant. And you guys have a new policy regarding grants. We wanted to come talk to you about this grant before we pursue an application.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna let Becky talk about the grant.
I have a short document here, front and back, that kind of gives you a little bit more information about it. It is a federal grant. They just passed, the Senate just actually increased the funding for it. I just set around. It is for, in the past, they funded up to $125,000 per year for 5 years. That can be renewed for up to 10 years. And
Jessica?
this is, the funding is all to be spent locally to fund community-led youth substance use and suicide prevention efforts in the county. So it is a grant that requires a match, but it doesn't require a cash match, funding match. It can be in-kind match that can be required, that can be for that contribution. So there's not asking for any funding. There's not going to be any extra administration, even though 10% of this will go toward the county for any administrative costs as well. But it's basically supplementing the work that's already being done and giving us more funding to work with, specifically for our youth.
Great. Questions? When do you apply?
Well, I did apply for it in the spring, and we were in the end roads to be awarded, actually get the grant, and then they ask everybody to reapply. So we have to reapply, and in that meantime is when the policy that you all ask us to come before you about. That's when, so we're getting, that has to be applied for this month. And it'll be awarded in July.
Okay.
If we get it.
What kind of programs do you have in mind?
Well, I've talked to, I think we definitely want to get more education for our youth as far as about different substances and how it affects their health and how to better take care of themselves with healthier coping mechanisms. With the school system is one for sure. You can use funding for mentoring programs. And that could be through working through the PAC with some things they've already got going on to help additional funding as well. Some of the other counties that have it, Lincoln County has had it for 5 years, and they do a lot of funding for like after sporting events. They'll do social events for the kids. They do after prom programs that help, and it helps fund a lot of that kind of thing too. So. helps to get some positive experiences into the county for the youth.
Great. Questions?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Commissioner Vickery?
Well, I was just gonna make a comment. This is the first time I've seen an application that doesn't require the county to fund it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's the ones I go for, so. Yeah.
Doug,
Thank
we
you.
try to- Things that aren't always asking for money. So thank you. That will let us, for policy, then pursue trying to get this funding available. The next thing I wanted to let you know about is we're hosting a motivational interviewing training. This is working with our opioid settlement funding group to try to expand some capacity and some baseline training for community partners and people that are working with at-risk populations. So that's scheduled for February 6th. And I am requesting that we could close our office that day so that my whole staff can go to this training. So there's that. I wanted to let you know that we were able to hire a new public health response coordinator to replace Steve Giff. I don't know if you guys know Nadia Giffen. She used to work for the sheriff's office. But I think she'll be a great addition to our team, and she'll start in February. And then my other little project that we've been working on is the commission gave us a budget line to get AEDs around the county facilities. So I have everything ordered, in the process of getting it all to all the different locations. And then we tentatively have a schedule for March 4th. PJ Mary's going to help us conduct trainings for county employees on the use of AEDs, Narcan, stop the bleed kits. Andre is going to be willing to help us put the covers up, and so then they'll be available in our county buildings across the county. And then Andrea and I are working on a little policy that will come before you guys before that, just to cover employees if they have to respond in a crisis situation. But I think it'll be a good
Great.
overview.
Good.
Okay, you guys have a question?
Any questions?
So you're gonna close on February 6th to attend this?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay. You guys are welcome.
Might show up.
Sign up, Debbie.
Next, Emily, Leila, Jessica.
Very. Sorry, what's that?
It's good. It's very good.
Oh, gosh. Don't tell Joe. You know, some people collect shoes. I collect campers. It's a thing.
You collect what?
Campers. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. I do want to let you know, we only have worked 2 days this month so far. So I do not have all the budget stuff completed because I haven't finished balancing checkbook yet. I'm still working on that. So what I do have is the request that I got said income for the last 6 months, July through December, compared to last year, same 6 months, July through December. So this basically is showing where we are as far as compare expenses and revenue to last year, 2024-25, compared to 25-26. Our expenses are down 33 million, but our revenue is also down 21 million from where we were last year at this same time. So if you look, we're actually above, we're like a little above revenue from expenditures. So keep up the no spending. Don't spend money. Keep saying that over and over. Stop spending money. But right now we're at least basically breaking even. So I also printed up, because the rest of the request said difference in the past due amount on property taxes for January of 25 compared to January of 26. And and I did not print these off for you guys. You'll just have to write the information down. If you want copies, I can make you copies. So for 2025, the amount of property taxes that are outstanding, and this is all property taxes, including ad valorem, is 20,171,6072. So we're short $20 million, but we'll probably pick up most of that in the second half of the year. When you look at that number compared to 2024, I ran it both ways because we do have outstanding ad valorem for those deferred 24 taxes for Jonah. So if you run that report with all outstanding for 2024 as of January 1st, 2025, so a year ago, that outstanding dollar amount with the minerals is $63,657,905.37. Now, if you take out the minerals, and that includes any that are delinquent, Buffalo Resources, we are not getting any money from them for some reason. The state's working on it, but so basically removing Jonah, which is the deferred payments, that amount is then $23,753,829. So it's only about $3 million different this year than last year. But I also ran 2023 because Jonah is still making payments on 2023. So the amount that is outstanding as of today for 2023, and that includes minerals, is $12,098,755. So if it all gets paid, it's quite a good chunk of money. But it's just slowly trickling in. We get that Jonah payment every month. It's about $800,000 on top of what they're paying to the state. So it's getting paid. They've been paying very timely. I'm not worried at all about that going default. But anyways, when I also looked at, I don't think I pulled 2024. No, I did 2024. So what is delinquent a year ago and what was delinquent as of a week ago? The dollar amount difference is about $20 million. So if you want copies of these reports, I'm happy to make them for you. I just didn't know that if you wanted all this paper. Sure.
So what kind of money we talk about this Buffalo?
So Buffalo Resources, they have, I know that they came to you guys sometime during the summer and wanted you to forgive all the interest for the back payments because they haven't made a payment since 2020 or 21, something like that. So in 24, a year and a half ago, I met with the Department of Revenue, the Oil and Gas Commission, and they plugged their wells. They blocked them. So they're no longer really producing. I think they're producing a little. They did get caught up on the royalties that they owed to the state. And then they came to you guys and wanted you to forgive all the interest. And I believe that did not go their way. And we told them if you're delinquent, you need to pay. And they have not. So I've talked to the state. They're still working on they've placed liens against them. They are making monthly payments to the state for 2025 current production, but they have not paid any of those past years. I think the total dollar amount that they're delinquent is maybe, I think $100,000-ish. And that's without accruing interest. So who knows?
That guy from Kansas.
No, he's from Colorado.
Well, he borrowed the money from his dad in Kansas.
Yeah.
This was involved.
I'm sure. But the part that doesn't make sense to me is it's had his name on it for 10 years.
And left.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to pay it. Well, your name is on it, dude, not his. And it's had the same mailing address. I think I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
We want you to.
I don't think we're going to get that money. If I had to guess,
I don't
Looks
think
like
they're gonna
not.
give them any money. So,
Okay, questions?
Thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah, so I don't, like I said, I don't have all of the numbers yet for the statement that I give to you guys at the end of the month, but I'll have it by the next meeting. I'm just not done. But I think as far as where we're at compared to last year, I mean, revenues are down, but expenses are down also. And we knew we were gonna be making less money this year than we did last year anyway, so. You have anything to add for me?
And you? Yes.
So this is where we are with production so far. I won't have these values, of course, finalized until June, but.
Thank you.
So right now, this is only through October. If you look at the bottom, District 101, we are actually up 12.9% from this time last year. And 900, we're up 9%. So it averaged about 11% countywide minerals.
Oh, I do want to follow up with, I have not at this point had to take any money out of investments to pay the bills.
Great.
So just so you know, I've not had to do that yet. Hopefully we won't have to. We'll see.
Really nice.
You have any questions with that? So that's good. I guess it's up, not down. The other thing is, I don't know if you read the article about, ranked. Who's the guy Blue Spruce? Blue Spruce, yeah. I don't know if you guys read the article, but they're starting to get everything built in May this year. Everything's on schedule, projecting 20 million a year in county property taxes and 20 million a year in state sales tax. That won't be this next year because it's got to get built. 7, 8. But then that brings me to my TY Pickett contract that does my appraisals for these big places there. Once they start doing this stuff, they go up a little bit.
We were just talking about that this morning. Trying to identify where we were at.
So that is
So
good.
does property tax go into effect before production starts? I mean, or not, the assets can sit there until production starts.
Right. Because it's the actual action of severing that triggers those taxes.
But their facility.
Their facility, that
Will
we
be-
still have a building and the
That's
land.
what the TY
And
Pickett will do that.
so that will increase immediately when it's set.
So that will be next year is my guess. Then for the exemption, this is what the residential assessed value was with all the exemptions last year by county, and I highlighted ours.
Thank you.
Sound like a hot potato just passed around.
So lost the estimated tax dollars because it's an average mill levy. Is what they determined it on. This is the DOR. $3,547,500 were lost due to all these exemptions.
And that's actual dollars and not just valuation.
Actual, it's here's your assessed value for each cat.
Had you done any projections before this went into effect?
So we didn't know. Like the 4% cap, that's what we figure until I start setting values.
Thank you.
We do have a lot. We have, I want to say close to 500 applications for the homeowners exemption. We have till February 1st on that, and then the long term, getting new ones this year that we didn't have last year. And then on top of that, now there's a $75,000 exemption for personal property. 75,000 off the top of what their value is for everybody. So I tried to estimate, we have 799 personal property accounts. With that 75,000 off, 613 of them will be exempt.
That's businesses also.
And then, so we have, that's the, I estimated tax loss of like
142,400. The oil and gas accounts, you have 105, 21 of those will be exempt. So, and then the others will get a $75,000 value taken off of their total value. So that is around $51,000 in taxes. We're looking at about 193,000 in taxes just from personal property estimated.
Good.
Okay, I got a question back to Emily. I'm a little slow here.
Yeah.
The revenue on 25 and 24, why wouldn't they correlate closer with these numbers of Layla's? I mean, the revenue's up on her stuff.
So this is all revenues. This is including,
Our mineral taxes are such a huge part of it.
well, we don't get to keep very much of it though. We get to keep about 16% is all.
But in turn, it's 90% of our.
Right,
budget,
it's a giant portion of it, but this really, these revenue dollars, this includes everything that came in. As far as revenue, and that would include all the oil and gas stuff. And then of course, that all goes away on top of, we get it and then it all goes away because we have to distribute all of it. We get to keep about 16%. So. And usually I have that property tax revenue county portion breakdown below. I just left it off on this one, where it shows how much total property tax revenue we received for that month, and then what is the county's portion of it.
Just figured those.
And if you look at where we're at as far as compared to 18 and 19. And we're probably close to where we were as far as the half year mark on 18 and 19.
Does this red line indicate that?
That is just a printer issue. Don't talk about my printer. But, so yeah, I think we're actually in a better place than I was worried we would be at this point of the year. But, we still have 6 months to go, and oil and gas is anybody's bet, so.
Okay. So I got a question for you. Simple one. So what, does very many departments turn money back in?
You mean like clerk of district court or?
No, what they don't use in their budget.
Oh, that's a Jessica question. So if they don't use, say, I know this happened in the assessor's office where they had a car budget line item for
years.
$5,000 a year or something.
That's just that was for.
And you guys were like trying to save it and not spend it so they could buy a new car. And at the end of the year, it all purges into the general fund, negatives and positives.
So it's not reserved for their budget for the next fiscal year unless it's specifically it says it's restricted, which there are not very many restricted accounts.
The final term.
Exactly like that. But I mean, for the next fiscal year, I think that is something that a few departments wanted to work on, was pulling something that rolled over. So if they did need a vehicle, that they had it when they needed it.
Well, what
And
I'm
it
getting
didn't
at,
just
when
go to
she
zero.
first thing she said was, don't spend, don't spend, and don't spend. So are they?
It's just gonna go back into our investment account and keep growing if it doesn't spend, because it doesn't go to your next fiscal year. It
I
just
understand
zeroes
that,
out.
but I mean, how often does one not use their money?
We
Not
would
very
have to-
often. Most of them use it. 'Cause
Yeah,
most of them are
we
like
all use it.
50% now of where they're standing. So you can pretty near estimate where you're gonna be at the end of the year.
You hope. I don't know. I'm looking at my postage line going, I probably should have estimated more for postage. But I do have, and this just started like 2 months ago, where people can get their renewal cards emailed to them rather than sent through the mail. And if they'll take that option, because right now I'm spending about $1.50 on each postcard between the production of the postcard and the postage on it. So if I can get away from all of that cost, so we're offering it when everybody comes in to do a renewal. If you'd like to get it emailed instead of snail mailed, that saves us $1.50 a postcard, basically. So.
You don't take $1.50 off the late fee?
No. I don't. And I know that there's a bill that's coming up in September where they're talking about adjusting registration fees again. And having it depreciate 2 more times, I think, from 15 being the lowest now to 12 to 10, depending on the age of the vehicle. So that may potentially reduce our revenue as well next year if that passes.
And also all the property tax bills.
Oh, and there's a
We're talking about, like,
slew
not
of
even
property tax bills
taxes.
again. Yeah, yeah. So we don't know.
Great. Anything to add?
I didn't. If you
Okay.
had any questions, I'll just work diligently with all the departments to see what we can do with the next budget, but I mean,
Great.
everybody's in agreement that try to cut it, so I'll do my part.
Good job. Thank you.
Yeah, to spend less, save more.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, commissioners?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and input. Thanks. Appreciate it. Any old business? Not hearing, open for public comment?
See anybody who raised their hands online?
No comment. We can draw this to a close. That didn't take a long, very long. There a second? It's gonna die because no second.
Also,
Okay, motion second. Any discussion?
Second, and
Got it? All in favor? Exactly. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you,
not
everyone.
me.
Holy smokers.